Yo. Here we are. What the hell is up, bread fans? I mean, guys or gals or whatever you want to call it. It is I, Jay, here. Welcome to another live stream. May 1st, 2026, the night before Waldameer opens. 'Twas the night before Waldameer, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mazy mouse. We got a blizzard in here and a bunch of fans there. I'm going to go Yinzer mode with a secret code. A little bit of an impromptu rhyming schemes. I'm not Dr. Seuss, by the way, but you know what I know. So, let's see who's in this live stream tonight. We got Chaos Coasters, M's Edits, Danger Kitty 21, Triple J 755, aka DC's Batman the Ride, Double D's 2781, aka Oscar's Wacky Taxi Derek, DJ Higby, Purple Shadows, and Thrill Stop. That's who we have so far. Yes, Poetry Hour is over. So, ooh. And if you're wondering, with the blizzard I'm having, if you're wondering what I'm having, it's Royal Ultimate Chocolate Brownie, my favorite blizzard. Yes, today, so tomorrow will be the first time this season they're going to say, "Welcome, employees, come." Yeah, they're going to say that, so get ready for that. Noon tomorrow, they're open from noon to 6. Unfortunately, they're closing 2 hours early because of the cold weather we're expecting. It's supposed to be around 47, 46, 47, 6, 7 degrees. You know, the usual. So it is going to be a little bit cold. Thankfully, it's not raining. Those who were at opening day last year might know it was probably one of the worst conditions of opening day I have seen in years. So I am happy it's actually going to be nice out, and it'll be really nice to get some footage. Yeah, 2017 comes to mind. Thank you, Kat, for reminding me. So, 42, 44, 46, 47, 6, 7, the usual. So, you're going to have to deal with my annoying voice for the next 3 hours. So, I hope you like it and you can tolerate my, whoops, my bad. Hopefully you can tolerate my crazy ass. So, there's no filters, so we're just going to keep on going. So, I don't remember what I'm supposed to do. So, yeah, we're just going to get right into the first round of Q&A and discussion. So, just put in your questions or things you want me to talk about. This is going to be a little bit more of a chill live stream than live streams past. I'm going to spoil it for you. There is no meme comp this time because I decided to give Dries the Meme Lord, my good old friend Riley, the day off. Plus, he has to work tomorrow. So, I have decided to give him the day off. But he did promise me one thing. And he said this to me, and he wanted me to say this to you guys. The next meme comp will be bigger, better, and stronger than ever. It is going to be unhinged salt. So that's a message from the Meme Lord. So, no meme comp today. So, those who are expecting some laughs, this is a serious live stream. So, submit your questions and stuff or topics to discuss. I will be more than happy to answer them right now. And while you submit questions or things to discuss, I am going to eat this Blizzard. DJ 6-7. Okay. Skyrush Buy or Sell after opening day. Now, hold that question in your head, Colton, because I will be discussing season recap in a few short moments. So, keep that question in the air. Because we will be talking about Hershey and stuff. So, I don't want to spoil anything, so zip it. But I will be responding to that question when we get to that area. So, next question, please. Take your order, please. Oh, here's a good one. Fresh off the mind from yesterday. Thoughts on Niagara Amusement Park closure? If I had $1 for every time a regional park around here is suffering or closing, I'd be rich. Conneaut, Lakemont, now Niagara. Yeah, I am very devastated to hear the news because Niagara is one of my favorite small parks out there. It is such a devastating blow to the Niagara Falls area because now that pretty much means 0 amusement parks in the greater Niagara Falls area between the U.S. and Canada. We pretty much lost marine land, so yeah, this is the second time. So, there was a press release that was released yesterday from IB Parks, which I will that it will not open for the 2026 season. And this paragraph really strikes out to me. Throughout this process, our local team worked tirelessly to prepare the park for the upcoming season while continuing to make meaningful improvements across the property. Ultimately, and this is the big part, attendance and revenue levels in recent seasons were not sufficient to sustain operating costs and the continued investment required to rebuild the park. Over the off-season, we explored every reasonable path to open this year and worked diligently to find a sustainable way forward. So, this is a big blow because I've been to Niagara now 4 times since 2023. I went with a former friend of mine in 2023. I went after my Florida trip in 2024, and then I went twice in 2025. Once with my friend Kirik, and then the other one with Kat, aka Purple Shadows. So, and that last one really cemented it because her and I just decided we're just going to marathon Silver Comet. It was a great day. The people came fresh from the Canada's Wonderland event the day prior. And actually, the ride closed temporarily because of bee problems, so that was actually kind of funny. So, every time I went to Niagara, that paragraph is right, because every time I've been to Niagara, even on like a busy Saturday, it has not been busy at all. You could basically walk onto anything and you could pretty much lap anything. Now, from an enthusiast perspective, yeah, you can get a massive ride count. However, there's just a lack of business up there. Grand Island is in its own little thing. You can only enter and exit Grand Island via 190, the interstate. There is no other like roads around it to get in or out of Grand Island. It's its own little world. And there's just not a lot of business up there, unfortunately. There's a lot of people in Niagara Falls. It's a heavily tourist spot, both sides of the falls. But Niagara was just kind of neglected. I mean, they had promising signs to grow in recent seasons. I mean, they added some stuff. They had some rides from Great America, Six Flags Great America added. They added the old Serpent roller coaster that used to operate at the old LeSwordsville amusement park. Which, fun fact, Kat and I actually now have LeSwordsville amusement park completion of the coasters that still remain, which is Serpent and then the Little Dipper at Sluggers and Putters. So that's kind of a weird statistic. We have LeSwordsville completion, but there's just not a lot. I even took a tourism class back in my college days when I was in Edinburgh, and if you don't get tourism, if you don't get revenue, you suffer. And it's caused decisions like this where Niagara has to close. Now, could this be a permanent closure, or this could be a temporary thing, or could it be sold off? From the words of the press release, I have a bad feeling this is it. The whole Apex situation back in 2020 was a whole different scenario, but it looked like this is pretty much the final death blow. Now, I'm not going to get into like predictions of where things could go, because obviously a lot of the rides can be packed up and shipped elsewhere. And I don't think Silver Comet can be relocated. So, unfortunately, if that part goes under and it's reused for redevelopment, that coaster's going down. So, at least it's not being set fire by a greedy owner that wants to turn it into like a camperland area. I'm just going to put that name anonymous, but you know who I'm talking about if you've been a long-time subscriber. But such a shame about Niagara. The only roller coaster in the greater Niagara Falls area is what people have mentioned now, the Franken coaster, the Wisdom Rides piece of shit on top of the Burger King. So I heard very bad reviews of it from a lot of my friends, and a couple of you fans in here are also talking about Franken coasters, so yes. Yeah, it was a good send-off. Let's see, I'm reading some of your comments. Franken coaster. You better prepare for Pantherian. That ride will send you into a different world. I will talk about that later. And yes, I will agree with you, Kat. It was a perfect send-off. Plus, it was a good escape to get away from that damn Browns game that was playing. Joe Flacco back in Baltimore. Holy shit, that was horrible. Glad I missed it. So, it was a great day at Niagara. It was a great send-off. It feels like deja vu to Conneaut Lake Park, how I sent off that park back in 2019 before Blue Street did its funny thing. Marathon with a friend. Ride in the wooden coaster. That's it. That's happened twice now. Six Flags America doesn't count because I wasn't technically marathoning things. Yeah, so yeah, Colton, I do agree with you. It's a shame, though, you'll probably never get to ride Silver Comet. I know that was in your plans for your travels this year. I wanted to go back this year, but unfortunately that's not going to happen. Yeah, they had a lot of different rides ready to go, like Great America's Pendulum, Midway Mayhem. They had their old Larson Super Loop in the parking lot. They had a octopus-style ride. They had promising signs to grow, but they didn't have the revenue to do that. So, yeah. All right, let's see. What is one ride you could ride all the time without getting sick out of any park? Too easy of a... Let me rephrase that again. This one's easy. Ravine Flyer 2. I can lap that thing all day and not get sick of it. May have to change seats every once in a while, but yes. I love RF2. Let's see. I'm probably going to Del Grosso's this summer since it's close to your college. I definitely recommend Del Grosso's. I went there last May with a couple of my friends, and I love that park. Sure, it gives you the vibe of like a quaint little carnival, but for Altoona, it's probably the best park in town because Lakemont, that situation with that ownership is equally shit to Conneaut. So I do not have faith right now. I mean, somehow Leap to Dips could be saved, but I fear that Skyliner is it. But it is the best park in Altoona, I will say that. So that's not really saying much. But yeah, I do highly recommend. Their Revachon Mouse is really good, and they have some really nice flats. I mean, their Yo-Yo is a good one. If you want to speed run the train, go ahead. It's a full loop. I mean, our buddy Drake says they could put a Gravity Group family wooden coaster in there. I put a clone of Oscar's Wacky Taxi in that area, and that's a pretty much an exact match. Let's see. I feel like if they could sell it, they will, but the state the park is in, probably not going to buy it. Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised, Kat, that Niagara would be sold for redevelopment. It's prime real estate, right off the interstate, right close to the falls. You can put like a giant, as horrible as I hate to say this, it'd be a damn good music venue. Yeah, Blue Streak at Conneaut, that was being torn down anyway, but still, I don't agree with it. And I'm never going to agree with it. Friend Emily's not going to agree with that, is going to agree with me too. I don't agree with their decision. I didn't agree with that back then. I didn't agree with it now. Whopper, Franken Coaster. I'm going to get a flame broiled burger. Yeah, at least the park is being closed at its own discretion rather than being forced to buy a corporate overlord to get money to get to their shareholders. Doesn't that sound like Richard Zimmerman? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Darien Lake's about 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah. Pretty much the park in Buffalo is Darien Lake, not so much Niagara. Yes, and they had Laser Loop. Yeah, they had Kennywood's old Laser Loop, which was relocated to La Friera as Cascabel, and they were intending to building it at Niagara. And from the times I've been there, they said, we do not know. And then parts of it went to Indiana Beach. All right, yeah. So let's see. I've driven past Niagara, but never been. So James says, I went to, son of a, let's see. You went to Lakemont and Niagara and Marineland just in time. Marineland I'll never get to. That was a bucket list park, and I regret not going to Lakemont in the earlier days. It sucks. Yes, James, the train at Del Grosso's is just a loop. And according to Keurig, it takes 3 minutes and 22 seconds from start to park. I'm still not happy about Blue Streak's loss, but remember it had been neglected for decades. It would have cost a fortune. Yeah. Remember that happened in the 90s. That happened back in the mid-2000s. It happened again. What is one thing you would change about any park? Now that's big of a, Lizzie, that's a huge umbrella question. Because this could mean a multitude of things. You have the good, you have the bad, who knows? Because one of my biggest problems in general is the lack of a chaperone policy. I see all the Six Flags parks are doing that. Most of them, at least, because it boggles my mind that Cedar Point doesn't have one yet. Knock, knock, Six Flags. But chaperone policies. More parks need chaperone policies due to youth violence. It appalls me. Damn good, Blizzard. But yeah, chaperone policies needs to be a umbrella term nationwide. And that goes for any park. I don't care if it's free admission, an FEC, a carnival, or a full-scale corporate park. Chaperone policy. Yeah, I know a red train's operating. I saw it from the Ridge Center. I'm fine. Not a big deal. I know Waldameer's closing early tomorrow. If you have been paying attention, you should know. I know the information is just as you do. Do not spam me. Let's see. Todd Joseph should have handled its closure better, but he clearly is trying to do something with the property and did not have the money to renovate it. Not defending him at all, but it's understandable. Yikes. Yikes, Cat. That is one way to word it. I do not know. Yikes. That is a one way to word that. I'm going to move on. Any advice for ride operators? Because I will be working at Midway. Ooh, you'll be working at Midway. That is in my plans this year. That is in my plans. Honestly, from an ex-ride operator here from Waldameer, just have fun with it. Obey all the policies. Read your handbook. Read your rider's manuals. Always ask questions. Always ask questions, because you're not going to know it on the first go-around. Maybe in the 6th or 7th go-around, you're not going to know. But just have fun with it. Be patient. Build a lot of patience, too. Because there may be an angry parent or, a disruptive kid or something along those lines. Just work with them to the best of your ability. And, most importantly, have fun with the job. I may be going to Midway this year, so I may see you there. So that's my stance on it, but yeah. Obviously, ride operations was not my thing. Now I work a corporate job, so yeah. But it was fun while it lasted when I did work in the rides department. I mean, no blood. I still have I'm on good terms with a lot of people at the park, so yeah. Triple J World, red represents the randomly placed landmines. The hell? Six Flags St. Louis is reinstating their chaperone policy after a fight on opening day. Yes, I agree. Anytime there's a planned takeover or any new, anything on that part, if there's ever anything, Fun Spot even did this the other day, because there was a planned takeover at Fun Spot in Orlando. So they re-implemented the chaperone policy temporarily. Unfortunately, now, and this was and actually, I'm going to commend Waldameer for something here. I am crediting them because last year, I think the YouTuber name was Lacey. He planned a humongous takeover at Waldameer Park, and Waldameer pretty much said, do not come to the park. Do not do a takeover. Do not do this. And I actually have to, applaud to them for actually shutting this down before it even happened. Because they take no bullshit from anybody. Especially in the recent times after the robbery story, which I'll get into. But I commend Waldameer for shutting that down real quick. Now, unfortunately, that did still happen at the Mill Creek Mall, which is another highly trafficked teenager spot. But Waldameer did their part. So it's a shame that, don't plan takeovers. It's why I don't do meetups anymore. I'm not really a YouTuber. I'm just doing this for fun. Disclaimer, I'm doing this for fun. I'm not as serious as years before. If you're not happy with my content, there's the door. But, yeah. Any news on the water park? I have a timeline when it will be open. The water park is opening May 23rd. As of when the slides are supposed to open, I do know, but I'm not allowed to disclose that at this time. It will be later this summer, unfortunately. It's not ready. I don't know the progress that's been made since last week when I went to the park, when I went for Season Pass Photo Day. So everything is just going to be based on what I see tomorrow. So I wouldn't be surprised if this opens like in June, sometime in June or July. But I was given a range, but again, I wouldn't be surprised if it's later this summer. And the reasons for it, I might disclose this part. Erie had a really bad winter, and this is just basic construction talk here. It has to be a certain temperature to assemble the fiberglass because it will not stick in colder temperatures, and Erie has just been in a cold spell for however the hell long at this rate. The weather is unpredictable. I mean, it's supposed to be 47 tomorrow and sunny. They're not going to construct in that weather. So it's just been very behind. So we've been very behind on construction. It's a shame, but whenever the slides open, they do. In terms of availability going forward, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if Rally Racer is not available for the first part of the season because they're still doing the construction around the area. But I assume all the other stuff, I expect, the eastern end of the park, the wave pool, all those stuff, those slides, Bermuda and Rocket Blast to be open, like that whole eastern half, or as I call it, the southeast part. But I think the northwest side of the park with Rally Racer and the new stuff, they won't be available for the time being. And since they're rerouting the train tracks, I assume the El Ruth Express will be closed for a little bit too. So I wouldn't be surprised on that. I unfortunately am too young to do the good rides like the Train and Little Dipper because you have to be 18. Gotcha. I do remember that rule. You have to be 18 to operate some of the bigger rides. I got trapped at Splash Lagoon because of the snow. Was it because of Snowmageddon back in 2024? I wouldn't be surprised. Or the Christmas snowstorm in 2017. Either of those would have been fair, valid points that you getting stuck. Knoebel's got a kitty tumblebug from Conneaut Lake Park and not allowed adults. Doesn't surprise me adults are not allowed. Actually, I didn't even know that was a rule to begin with, so my bad. And yeah, I do know that Knoebel's got that tumblebug. So it's a lot. Yeah, so I'm happy that a Conneaut Lake ride is saved. I just wish there was more. Oh yeah, the Snowmageddon, so I was correct. Okay, so with that out of the way, I think we're good with questions for now. I think everything's, yeah, that's pretty typical for children's rides. Not really shocking. They're not built to hold grown adults. However, the one at Kennywood allows adults for some odd reason. Do not know why, but I think that's all the questions you guys have for now. Great discussion for the first part of the live stream. So without further ado, we're actually going to get into the next item, the Waldameer Roundtable. This is going to be a fun one. We're going to be talking about a little preview of Waldameer this season. So for those who are Waldameer fans, buckle up. We got a lot to talk about on this one. So with everything going on, I have to show you something. We have to go to our old friend, Adobe Premiere. Just look at my Adobe. I still got a lot to do, but basically, I was not happy with how I did my construction update in person, so I decided to record 9 pages worth of a script, and this will be the longest construction update in history. There is a lot to talk about in this update. A shit ton. So you might want to grab your snacks, your popcorn, anything you want, because you're going to be sitting over 20 minutes worth of information about Waldameer. So buckle up. There's a lot to go. And that video, as for when that video will be released, I know some people have been asking me, when are you releasing your annual Waldameer update video? Please give me time. I work full time, and I don't have time to sit down every day and do something. I can only do so much at a time without, taking a break or needing to go to work or nap or whatever. So when I have time, I do sit down and I lock in. But unfortunately, it may have to wait a few weeks. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing gets out by Memorial Day. Let's just say. I wouldn't be surprised. But I do not have a timeline of when that will be out. But I am working on it. I need to get some extra footage tomorrow of some stuff I will be talking about here. So let's talk about some of the big things. I did already mention the new water slide expansion, which I'm super excited for. The vertical construction actually just started not too long ago because of the aforementioned cold weather. Skelly's Amusements has a happy swing of a max height of 66 inches. Interesting. Waldameer's max height is 73. Interesting. So the water park expansion, I'm really excited for that. So whenever I do get there and experience that, I may try to do a review video. No guarantee. But I do want to review the new slides and see what's going on. Raft slides, they're a new concept to Waldameer. The nearest raft slides are at Darien Lake or Cedar Point in the opposite directions. So I'm really excited to check them out. I mean, I've ridden some raft slides before at Darien Lake with Wahoo Wave and Big Kahuna. So those are my references for water slides. For those who've been to Darien Lake, Wahoo Wave is an excellent wave slide, and Big Kahuna is basically Raging River on steroids. So I'm excited to see how Presque Plunge and Big Water Bend perform. And then obviously the new Endless River, Winding Waters, which I think is a terrible name. I don't want to diss Waldameer, but Winding Waters is a terrible name. Big Water Bend is not that great either, but I can live with it. Presque Plunge, I'm glad they reused that name. Super good. And then in the back of the park, so I'll talk about the big elephant in the room later. There's some other big updates in the park. The park is celebrating their 130th anniversary this year, so there is a lot on that end. We have 2 new food stands in the park, Taco Galopante and Carousel Creamery. There was a hair in my mouth. But Taco Galopante replaced Pizza Ground, so they're selling Mexican food. From what I've heard from some of my friends that already tried it, I heard it's really good. So I'm willing to try the Taco Bowl. So I'm going to try that. And I had Carousel Creamery last week during Season Pass Photo Day. Shoutouts to my friend Kaylee, who works in concessions. She was able to scoop me up, literally, a chocolate ice cream. And it was the coldest fucking ice cream I've ever had. It was good. It was super, super good. And I highly recommend. So, and that one replaced Carousel Delights. So I'm very happy about the new food places around the park. Mexican food was not my first choice, but I think it's really cool. Oh, Kat, you said the Taco Bowl was really good. So I'm happy. I'm really curious to try it for opening day tomorrow. So, super, super stoked. So, we got that out of the way. So, and then the other big thing being added is the return of Paratrooper, which was relocated from its old area on the midway between Common and the park office. That was since removed for the addition of Tasty Tater and the new water park entrance, which I think were great moves in the long run because Tasty Tater, I'm still going to call it Patch. I don't care. Patch is super popular in the park, and I think it was twice as popular now with the expanded lineup. And I love the loaded fries. They are super good. Just don't get the chili. The chili absolutely ruins it. So there's that. So I'm very excited about that. But Paratrooper is now relocated next to Steel Dragon, next to the restrooms over there, so it's between those two. Paratrooper is looking very brand spanking new. Hello, Jack. The elevators are amazing. I'm super excited to get my POV of Paratrooper and, see what I feel. I mean, I haven't ridden a paratrooper since Adventureland, of all places, in Iowa. My buddy Jaron and I rode a paratrooper there. Actually, Frank Hubert's paratrooper, so it is authentic. The one at Idlewild is by a different manufacturer. I do not know who the hell manufactured it. Help me, God. Help me, God. But I'm excited to ride Paratrooper. It's got a lot of control updates, new Q system, new BAM scanner, the same controls as before. So I'm going to strap on my stuff and have some fun with that. So I'm excited to really try out Paratrooper once again. And the other thing with updates is that Pirates Cove got a brand new scene. And at the end of 2025, they got rid of the infamous jail maze. Now, if you know the ride by design, there is an emergency exit there, right nearby, kind of right before the floating skull heads that said "I ain't got no body." Now, the jail maze was routed in a way to comply with fire codes, so it's optional to go through the maze part. So Waldameer took a look at that and got rid of it, and they're adding a really, really nice scene. I'm not going to spoil it for you. I was able to see some pictures on Waldameer's Instagram, so I was able to see that. And I'm not going to spoil it, but I will read the caption because this gives you a little bit of insight. So, Bill Tracy, the designer of both Wacky Shack and Pirates Cove, left a few extra decorations behind deep inside Wacky Shack, and those little trinkets are now in Pirates Cove. So if you really know your dark ride history, you might know what it is. I know what it is, but I'm going to leave it to when I walk through it. So this is the spoiler-free version. You can see the spoilers in the aforementioned construction update later on. But I'm really excited to see it. And then those are pretty much it. Oh yeah, Hilltop Grove, the brand new picnic grove that's here. And that's the former West Ballroom Grove that's being relocated up in the south end of the park. There's a really cool story behind that because basically they took it down without building permits or any designs. And I got a very surprise text message from Steve Gorman saying, "Do you have any pictures?" Using my video experience to help Steve Gorman was actually one of my more proudest moments of 2026. Now, they're still working on it. The rental information, if you want to rent it out for a company picnic, that information is still online. So, but I did have a help in Waldameer's 2026 plans. Just not in the way you expected. Who knew that me, formerly Insane Coaster Junkie, now just me, actually helped with a Waldameer project? Clap your hands if you're excited for that. I actually helped Waldameer. I put my videos to good use. So, unfortunately, and there's other cosmetic updates that I'm not really going to get into, and events and other minor changes I'm not going to get into, because they're pretty much minor. I'll discuss them in the construction update. There's a lot to go through. There's a lot more information. Yeah, it'll be different views, Jack, that'll be very, really nice to see how it's different. Unfortunately, there won't be the tree to kick down, so, and you could still wear flip-flops and stuff on it. I remember way, way, way back when I was a kid, they had that no flip-flops rule, and then they relaxed that 15 years ago, so there's that. But I'm very excited to see how Paratrooper works out in this new location. That plaza there is really nice. And then the elephant in the room, there's one big, massive elephant in the room that I have not talked about. There is major, major developments behind Ravine Flyer 2 and between Time Twister and Ravine Flyer 2 in the back of the park, where the former Lakeview Grove used to be. Now, there has been massive speculation on what's going to be there, what's going to be added, and God, I got to be very fucking careful of my words here because I know a lot about that update. I know a lot about it, so I need to be extra careful with my words here. So, spoiler alert, TDLR, I know what we're getting. I know everything. We all know it's a Vekoma because we saw a shipment leak in late March. And I was super happy to see that. And honestly, I think Vekoma is the best choice of manufacturer for this ride. I mean, I've ridden some modern Vekomas, both family and throw this last year in my big gauntlet. And I think Vekoma is the best choice. Now, as of what type, I am not going to tell you. I am not allowed to share that with you at this time. However, there have been popular rumors flying around. I will talk about the rumors, though. I will talk about that. There have been a lot of rumors flying around of what type of Vekoma it is. Some say it's a family launch coaster like Big Bear Mountain. Some of it say it's a family boomerang. Some of it say, it's, a thrill coaster like Lek Coaster at Legendia. People are saying so many different things. I've been on the family launch coaster hype train for the longest, and I'm still sticking by my prediction. However, again, I am not allowed to tell you what the actual coaster is, because that's getting into legal information, and since I work in news, that could be easily be spread. So, actually, the park not telling me things is actually a good thing. So, I know there's been a lot of videos on it. I mean, I have to give a shout to Chaos Coasters. He's made now 6 creations on this, and it's just funny to see because there's just a lot of information to sift through with this project. There's massive clearing there in where the Lakeview Grove used to be. There's massive clearing down on the ravine side where the former lakefront property used to be back in the Depression era and early World War II before that was eroded away by a storm. So there is a lot going on down there. There's markers out the wazoo. And it's even funny now with the markers I saw on Season Pass Photo Day, I see markers of where a station and brake run can be. So, and I've actually reflected this in Planet Coaster. So, I am willing to give you a sneak peek in Planet Coaster if you would like to see what I made. If you would like to see what I made, comment down below. I am more than happy to show you. Because I've been fine-tuning this. I actually had an original version of this. And now based on the more research I've been doing and the stuff I've seen in person, I changed it. But I'm super excited about a new roller coaster. It's probably the biggest coaster in the park since Ravine Flyer 2. It's been 19 years. I mean, we don't count Whirlwind. That thing was terrible. We're all on a Whirlwind. If you watch my videos, we are a Whirlwind hater cult. We are. Are we the waiting? But again, I'm going to load up, since you guys are interested, I will load up on Planet Coaster 2 my prediction. Because I've seen Chaos Coasters post like 6 different versions of it. Holy crap, that's a lot. But I'm ready to give you version 2 of what I think. Yes, I know Waldameer is too good for Whirlwind. I find it hilarious that the only SBF spinner in Pennsylvania is at Waldameer. You would have thought it would have went to like Fun for All or some other place. So, I know Waldameer is too good for Whirlwind. So give it a minute. So we're just going to wait for this to load. So, okay. So, how you guys doing while we wait for this to load? How you guys doing? Ooh, yeah, update 9. I gotta update that. Okay. Sunview. Imagine a place like Sunview gets it. Oh my god. Cat, you are hilarious. Whirlwind the fun for all. Yes. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my 2027 roller coaster prediction. a Vekoma family launch coaster. I'm going to probably rename it to something else, but this is my prediction. So I'll give you a little bit of a context. So I had a original model about 2 months ago, and I was not happy with it. And like I said, based on the recent developments I've seen, I decided to give it a another go. So I'll walk you through it. So there's 2 launches on the ride. There's one at the very beginning and then one at the very end to get back up the hill. And then everything else on the layout is in what I roughly sketched out as the lakefront property. So I tried to the best of my ability to make that lakefront property. Here's where Rainbow Gardens would be. Here's Lakeview, where it used to be, that whole area. And then this is the rest of the park. I didn't really... It's not Planet Coaster Tycoon, it's just Planet Coaster 2. Planet Coaster and Roller Coaster Tycoon are different game series. So basically, you do a small launch, and then you go through a 70, 80-foot drop. And the layout is basically very esque of Big Bear Mountain at Dollywood, my main inspiration for this coaster. So there's a lot of bank turns, some gentle airtime hills, swooping turns. Now, the original layout of this interacted with the terrain more, but as I saw that lakefront property, it's all flat. So I think it will only be a terrain coaster just to get up and down the ravine. So there's a lot of bank turns. And this is just shy of 3,000 feet long. It's about 51 miles an hour. It's really cool. So we're going to walk through a POV of the ride for you guys to ride. So let's ride. All right, here's launch 2. And that's pretty much it, what the layout is. So feel free to give me praise, criticism, anything about the layout. I'm open to feedback. Yeah, I'm open to any feedback whatsoever about this coaster. So let me know what you think. And yes, I know the coaster colors look like the former Raging Cajun at Six Flags America. Now Barrels of Fun at Great Adventure. I'm gonna keep with the support color, but I've been messing around with track colors to see what I think. I think it will be some sort of like a bluish green type color. So that's what I'm working with. So feel free to give me any criticisms or praise. Are you going to be on the first ride of Ravine Flyer 2? I'm going to try to go for Paratrooper this year. I'm going to go for it. But I will be there around 11, sometime after around 11, because I have to pick up a friend. So that's that. Danger Kitty, no, this is supposed to be a family coaster, not a thrill coaster. And none of the family launch coaster models have inversions in it. I do agree Waldameer needs something with inversions, with like coaster-wise. I mean, we have that with Chaos, but that's a flat ride. So I would love to see their next coaster after this do that, but no, the Vekoma family thrill model does not do that. This is just my artistic rendition, representation of it that's heavily influenced by something I've written. So, the launch hill, yes. The first launch kind of just gets it up to speed. That's kind of like a 25-mile-an-hour launch. Just gets it up to speed and gives you a nice drop into the ravine. And then that final launch, that 50-mile-an-hour launch, just gets you back up the hill. I don't see them, going anything crazy. I've seen some concepts where they really use like the terrain over here near Rainbow Gardens. I don't see that. I think it's just going to be launch down, mess around with the Lakeview property, launch back up the hill, done. It doesn't need to be good. I mean, this thing is already going to be an expensive project. I wouldn't be surprised if this project is around $15 to $20 million. So it's going to be an expensive project for Waldameer. So this is just me being generous. As much as I want a more ambitious layout, and I know a lot of other people would want a more ambitious layout, I don't see that being the case. It is possible it can be a little bit bigger. I mean, I only see it using half. My rendition and my prediction is them only using half of it based on the markers we've seen. So they could use the whole damn thing. If they use the whole damn thing, great. If they only use part of it, fine too. That could also hint possible future expansion. I still agree with the whole RMC Raptor thing. We do need something with inversions, and I think an RMC Raptor in the south side of the park would be a great fit. And this is kind of my problem, something that DJ's saying. I don't like how people are kind of anticipating something like a Vekoma Thrill Coaster. I see this more family. It'd be cool to get, a flying coaster here, but Waldameer is a family park first and foremost. And Waldameer wants to add things for the entire family. And I'm really seeing this in the new era of Waldameer with Time Twister, the new slides, and whatever we get with the new coaster. Family thrill attractions that everyone can enjoy, and even me as an adult can still enjoy. I really love Time Twister. I think it's a really solid ride. The slides are going to be really cool once they open. I mean, I've ridden similar, so I'm really excited to try those out. And the coaster will probably be the second best coaster in the park behind Ravine Flyer 2. I mean, Big Bear Mountain at Dollywood is top 3 in the park, and that park is stacked with coasters. Just behind Lightning Rod and Thunderhead for me. So, I hate when enthusiasts are saying, oh, we need something big. Look at the recent additions we made. The only one I can really defend is Rocket Blast, because that is supposed to be the Ravine Flyer of Waterworld. It has to, that's the Ravine Flyer of Waldameer, of Waterworld, basically. So, it's meant to be a thrill slide first and foremost. But, even Prescott will plunge to an extent. But, Big Water Bend, the new Lazy River, Time Twister. I mean, not hard to beat a Baby PTC and a Myra Spinner. I mean, that's kind of true. If you kind of look at the coaster lineup, it's pretty much garbage beyond RF2. I mean, Comet is a solid family Woody. I mean, Steel Dragon is fine. And the Myler can be aggressive at times, and Whirlwind is just Whirlwind. But that's how I see it. But, I mean, I've ridden better clones of it. I mean, Comet is the best of these junior PTC clones. Steel Dragon, there's better Mauer spinners. I mean, Whirlwind at Seabreeze comes to mind. So there's that. Yeah, I'm sure the next coaster after this one will be Thrill. But I'm happy regardless, whatever the Vekoma is. Again, I know specific details, but I'm not allowed to disclose them here. And I'm not disclosing them in my update either. I'm still going with my family launch prediction, and I'm holding that to the day I die. Or the day I'm wrong. Okay, so we got that out of the way. There are 14 of you watching right now. Before we get into the Kahoot, we're going to talk about 2026 at a glance. So I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes or so talking about this. So after that, we will get right into the Kahoot of this game. Because we got a really fun Waldameer themed Kahoot for you tonight. So stay tuned. You want to stick around. But 2026 has been a really interesting season so far for the retrospective things. So I basically started my season early last month, by a surprise by my friend Thomas being invited to go to Hershey Park's opening day. And Colton, it was you who said it. Skyrush Buy or Sell. Now I'm gonna start by answering your question. Skyrush is better now. The problem with me riding Skyrush before, like, backseat is the best on Skyrush, but a wing seat sucks. I hate wing seats. So I ended up switching to a center seat, and I found out center seats are my thing. I enjoy Skyrush way more now. And my ride count is kind of subpar from that. It's because, Hershey gets crowded. I had no fast track or ADA. Shadow Wolf. Who is this? Hello. But Hershey was really cool. Let's see if I can, frame a picture or something. Because I do have pictures of this day. And this was the first time I actually tried out my brand new Ray-Ban Meta glasses that I bought. So I'm one of these now. I'm one of them now. I have the new Ray-Ban Meta glasses. If you don't know what they look like, they kind of look like this. So they're basically camera sunglasses, TDLR. But, so 2-3 years ago, I cannot remember. You might need to clarify, please. I know so many people, it's hard to remember everybody by name. But basically, I've been using this for recording on rides. It will vary park to park. Hershey, I ended up getting busted on the SNS drop tower by some reason, so I ended up stopped using them. I used them at Fun for All. I used them briefly at Waldameer, but the chest mount is the way to go. I mean, and people were asking what is going to be the Meta glasses policy at Waldameer. I do not know. That is subject to change. They could allow it with a strap. They could not allow it at all. Who knows? I mean, just for safety purposes, just still use the GoPro with the 5-point chest mount. But if there are any changes on the Meta glasses policy, I will let you know. But pretty expensive purchase, but it was a pretty damn good one. I also use this for fitness too. So yeah, I ended up using it at so I also use it for fitness because I've started to work out a lot more, starting to walk a lot more for a future video. So I've been using these Ray-Bans, and they are super versatile. So really enjoyed that day at Hershey Park. My first coaster of the year, if anybody is wondering what my first coaster of the year was, it was Candemonium, which was a solid choice. Really enjoyed that. Really enjoyed that. Wildcat's Revenge, as Colton mentioned, is my new #1 coaster, which I thought was amazing. So I really enjoyed it. Mixed Skin Kid. Mixed Skin Kid. Mixed Skin. I don't remember. Alright. Yeah, I deleted the main channel. There's a lot of other reasons that happened with that. Here's the picture there. I ended up, here it is. I was with a couple of my buddies. Colton, Thomas is in the back, and then James and Derek. That's us about to get Last Train of the Night on Wildcat's Revenge, which that was a mess because they tried to close the line on us, and then we just broke in through the gate anyway. So, whoops. But overall, fantastic day at Hershey Park. I ended up going to Fun for All the next day on my way back because I was staying the night in Pittsburgh. And then I went to Fun for All on the way back. Thomas gave me a free card, so I was able to get some extra laps on a few things. I ended up going to Splash Lagoon about a week and a half ago because I had a gift card that my grandparents gave me for Christmas. So I ended up doing a little Instagram vlog from Splash. And I had a good time. It was a nice 4 hours before work. Just decided to mess around a little bit. Everything was fine on that part. Nothing really too special. It's just an indoor water park. But I had a good time getting on everything. Ride count was really good from that visit. I think 15 on Python Plunge, 10 on Shark Attack, 7 on Hurricane Hole. The list goes on. And then I was at Waldameer Season Pass Photo Day, obviously, last week. Getting the first part of my update video done. And then I'll be there tomorrow for opening day to get the next part of my update video done. So that's pretty much it. So going forward, Instagram. Yeah, Instagram. I'll just put it down there because my Instagram. Oh, hold on. Shit. All right. Yeah, so if you want to follow my journey throughout the summer, my Instagram is JZTV, JZamanic TV. Yeah, so yeah, it's JZamanic TV. It's where I post all my updates. I'm starting to do a lot more live Instagram content on there this summer. So I've done it at a couple parks already. I've done it at Hershey. I've done it at Fun for All and Splash. So I've been doing a lot more live Instagram content. So like Instagram style vlogs. They've been really fun to make, like live updates as we go. So I've been doing that a lot. There will be more of that going forward. I plan to do a lot more with the regional parks as well. Which, speaking of, we'll get into the regional stuff. And as a friendly reminder, no public meetups are allowed because of liability concerns, and there's just a bunch of shit that goes on that it's just not worth it to do a lot of meetups. It's just a lot. So I'm not hosting fan meetup events and all that. People don't know how to respect me, but I'm going to say it again because it's unfortunate I have to say this every fucking year now, but it's true. So anyway, going forward with the season, it's going to be a lot more low-key than last year. There's a lot of reasons by that because for those who don't know, I'm now full-time at my career job, and I have a lot more things to do now. So I'm not going to be traveling as much. Plus, with my car getting more and more miles, I want to limit my travels less. So there will be a lot of changes going forward. I do plan on getting back to Cedar Point, Darien Lake, and Kennywood at least once or twice each this year. So I do want to go visit the regional parks again. I already have a couple dates already planned out with some friends for certain trips. So I'm already going to think about that. Probably get the Midway at some point. And then I do want to try a new fair. Because kind of the thing I've been doing with the past couple of years is I've been trying a new water park or fair every year. Last year, I kind of did both with that. I tried a new water park with Sandcastle, Kennywood's water park, and I did the Big Butler Fair. So this year, I already did Kalahari Sandusky with the water park, so I do want to try a new fair. So I'm probably going to go to the Warren County Fair in Pittsfield, Pennsylvania, which is about 45 miles away from here. That's nearly an hour from Erie. But I do want to go check it out. It's like the only county fair within the Erie, Crawford, Warren County area I have not been to. It was either that or the Ashtabula County Fair in Jefferson, Ohio. So it was between those. Because I remember my grandfather asking me, are you going to the Erie County Fair in Hamburg, New York this year? I am probably not going to be able to make it this year. I'm already doing a lot as is. So less is more. And then new parks. There's not a lot of... I went to a lot of new parks this year. I went to a lot of new parks. Those who followed my journey last year a lot of people may know I went to a lot of new parks last year. I wrote a lot of new credits. That is not the case this year. Now, the two parks I can say with certainty I am going to and flying out to is King's Dominion and Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. These are... So yeah, basically, flying out to Virginia. Yeah, so King's Dominion and Busch Gardens Williamsburg will be part of the Mid-Atlantic series that I started out last year with James. And King's Dominion and Busch Gardens have been on my radar since 2019. Those who've been a longtime subscriber may know that. Yeah, those who've been subscribed for a long time may know that King's Dominion and Busch Gardens Williamsburg have been on the pipeline since 2019. That failed. It failed again in 2022. And now it's finally going to happen in 2026. I am super excited to get to both of those parks and experience some great coasters. Now, the other park, the third and final new park I'm going to this year, it's very uncertain right now. I was talking with my friend about this. It's in limbo right now, so I will not really go into much discussion, but it's Six Flags Great America. If I do get to Six Flags Great America, I will hit 300 coasters this year. If I do not hit, if the trip gets canceled, I'm just going to cancel it outright. I was going to plan, a day trip of some sorts, but with the logistics and everything, it's just not viable. It's not worth it. So if it does get canceled, it will be canceled, and I will not hit my 300th coaster this year. So if I do Great America, I will hit 300. If I don't do Great America, I will hit it next year. I will hit 300 next year. Because by the end of this trip here, I'll probably be somewhere around the ballpark of 290. Right now, my credit count is 265. So in terms of new parks, this is going to be a very, very chill year. I wrote 120 new credits last year, so we need a break. So this is kind of my break year because 2027, I'm already thinking about plans. I already have a planned trip for Mid-Atlantic 3, and which I get to Coney Island. I've been thinking about doing a Coney Island trip for quite a while now. So in the unlikely event of Six Flags Great America being canceled, Mid-Atlantic 3 will have our 300th credit. Thank you for driving with Newark Airlines or wherever your final destination might be. Yes, so who knows? Again, Great America's in the air. I do want to get to California's Great America before... I do want to get to Six Flags Great America before they close. That will be at some point. Because I heard it's supposed to close within the next couple years. So I will try to make an effort to get to Great America, California's Great America, and Six Flags Great America, but I hope to get to CGA before they close down for good. There was a plan that I was going to hit Wild Waves for its last season this year. That since went off the day side, so I will not be able to go there. I will not be able to get to Wild Waves, so that park can rot under. Let's see. I still think you ought to try to get the kitty credit at the Albion Fair for Erie PA credit completion. That's not going to be possible because I know the fair provider also does that at the Crawford County Fair. And I tried there with Emily, with M's Edits many years, 3 years ago now. And she got the credit, but I did not, which was weird. So, because they ban adults, but I don't get it. They allowed M's Edits to ride, but they didn't let me ride. The hell. So, I'm going to say no. I really wish I could be part of this, but there's so much going on. Yeah. If you see someone filming at a park, a quick wave or distance being okay, but don't run up to them begging to be part of the video. It's rude. It happened with Jay when I was at a park. Yep, that happened at Dorney. And it happened with Colton when I was with Colton at Del Grosso's. Yes, you will love Pantherian. I am really excited to ride Pantherian. Unfortunately, I lost my Super Bowl bet, so I have to ride Pantherian blindfolded. So that's going to suck. How do I think about the new Lazy River? I think it's great. So, with that out of the way, with all my park trips and whatnot, let's get this Kahoot started. Now, I made this Kahoot a lot easier. It is a lot easier than before. Those who play Kahoot know how difficult they can be. Not this time. It's Waldameer themed. A Waldameer themed Kahoot. So, allow me to get the Kahoot set up. There are 20 questions. All Waldameer related about various categories. Show questions on devices. Wait, what is that? What's that other setting? Okay. Three 8 1 6 3 3 3. Okay, so if you're waiting, if you want to play Kahoot, please do at this time. No giveaways or a giveaway sweepstakes going on. We're all just playing for funsies. And maybe for competitiveness. All right, let's see. Purple Shadows has entered the chat. So give me a second as I adjust some things here. So let's get as many people as we can onto this thing. All right, we got 7 people. Anyone else that wants to join, let me know. Okay. All right. Shadow Wolf. Okay. Okay, got 7 people. I think that's everybody. Let go. Oh, we're going full screen. Hello. We're going full screen here. All right, everybody go. Who is the manufacturer of Waldameer's 2027 project? I think that's everybody. All right. 7 of you got it right. It is Vekoma because of the shipment leak we got back in March. Yes, so 1 Sid Zamperla. All right, who's being the jokester here? Who's being a jokester? Yeah, so again, like I said, I know what type I'm not allowed to discuss. However, my prediction still stands as a Vekoma family launch coaster. That is my prediction. All right. Let go. The Presque Isle Plunge name will be reused for a tornado wave slide. What type of slide was the original Presque Isle Plunge? So yeah, like I said, the Presque Isle Plunge name was used before for an existing slide that closed last year. Ugh. Nearly threw up in my mouth. Ugh. Son of a... Yikes. Alright, 5 of you got it correct. It was an open body slide next to Lake Erie Dip. It was part of the original water park when it first opened in 1987. So, Presque Isle Plunge was the green open body slide. The open tube slides, those were Raging in Wild River. So yeah, you kind of had to figure out the color. The color was the hint. Lake Erie Dip was the yellow open body slide. Alright, what cosmetic upgrade did Paratrooper not receive this season? So there's a key part of Paratrooper that was not updated. Alright, 7 of you got it right. And it is seatbelts. Something I'm really, really happy to see is that there are no seatbelts on Paratrooper. I saw this with actually Idlewilds, and I do not agree with it. I'm glad the Paratrooper cars have retained, they have retained the same car system and everything else from the original. So, very happy to see that. No seatbelts. Now, if they got seatbelts on Scrambler, that'd be nice. Alright, Taco Galopante is one of 2 new food places in the park and will introduce Mexican food to the park. What does this food stand replace? I mentioned this earlier, so you should get this question right. Alright, 5 of you got it right. It is Pizza Ground that it replaced. The new Carousel Creamery replaced Carousel Delights. And Tasty Tater was renovated last year. It is a tight battle between Kat and James for the top spot, only by a 29-point difference. Alright, Waldameer was robbed 4 times in the past 2 months. What was the most valuable item that was stolen during these robberies? Which item in this of value is the most valuable? What is with 7 of you always getting it right? 6, 7. Oh my god. But yes, alright, one of them was being a jokester in the... Alright, so let me break this down from our competitor station because they were able to get more information than my station. But in hindsight, the park was robbed 4 separate times between March 7th and April 4th. And the perpetrators were arrested recently. So shout-outs to my buddy Jax Abel to get the reports for me and covering this story and all its other aspects. So shout-outs to Jax. But anyway, with everything going on, $10,000 worth of damage was done to the park. Now, to break down that, $1,000 worth was tools. Thank God none of the water slide pieces were damaged. Thank fuck. But the most valuable part that was stolen was a golf cart. From what I heard from other people, apparently they took the golf cart, drove it to the east side of town, spray painted it, put decals on it, and a speaker to pimp my ride. Absolute bozos. But in a silver lining to this story, the golf cart has since been returned to Waldameer. Don't mess with them. All right. What are Waldameer's inspirations for park development currently and moving forward? Now, this question actually came from Coaster Bash when I went in March. I forgot to mention I went there and Steve Gorman was presenting there. And he did talk about this somewhat. Now, if you went to Coaster Bash, aka Cat, will know this question directly. Alright, 6 of you got it correct. It is all of the above. All 3 of these parks have been inspirations for Waldameer recently. Holiday World, we kind of know that from the water park aspect of things. However, the other 2 are kind of a surprise. Santa's Village, the one in New Hampshire, is the one, not the one in Canada. Because they're in this little program together. Waldameer, Santa's Village, and a bunch of other parks are in this like theme park program and stuff. And Dollywood has been a big inspiration to Waldameer for a lot of weird reasons. And I think they are the inspiration for that new Vekoma. So, hint, hint. Alright. How was I able to help save West Ballroom Grove and relocate it as Hilltop Grove? Again, I mentioned this. Earlier. Alright, 5 of you got it right, but yes, I did submit my photos from my video archives to help with the building permits. I'm not an engineer, and I did not come up with the name Hilltop Grove. I don't know where that came from. But yes, I helped with the construction efforts. Alright, here is the raw exclusive video from Steve Gorman at Coaster Bash.
That's one picture. You're not serious. That's the only one I could find. So, I know someone in Ace who takes a lot of pictures of our park, a lot of video. I said, Jay, he's here today. Jay, I said, Jay, do you have any pictures of this shelter? He sent me so many pictures that were close enough to get a view of that. And it helps out the architects tremendously. Good job, yeah. So thank you, Jay. Thanks, Steve. Thank you.
Pretty damn cool, don't you think? Alright. How long did Time Twister take to build from first order to opening day? This is another Coaster Bash exclusive question. It's longer than you think. Alright, 4 of you got it right. It is 15-month timeline. So basically, the ride opened in May of 2025. So it was most likely the order was submitted from Waldameer in February 2024. So in that timeline, that was before Spider was sold on the used rides website. Now, it is obviously 8 months from closing day to opening day. So 3 of you did say that. 4 days was actually the time frame the ride was actually built on site. It took 4 days to assemble. And the 3 years part, Waldameer likes to plan long range. So I wouldn't be surprised this was in the development stages for a few years. But basically from opening day backwards, yeah, I would not be surprised if they ordered it in February 2024. That's 15 months. All right, what is Steve Gorman's physical limit when it comes to roller coasters? I did not believe this when I first heard this, but I heard this from Steve Gorman himself, so this is coming straight from him. I'll give you a hint. It's a coaster I've ridden. Trust me, I was blown away by this damn question, by this damn answer. All right, 3 of you got it correct. I cannot believe it, I'm saying this, but his physical limit with coasters is Stardust Racers at Epic Universe. This blew my mind. I did not expect this. Blew my mind. Yeah, I didn't expect this. I didn't expect this. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. How is Stardust Racers the physical limit for Steve Gorman? I don't get it. I wish there was an answer. But I kind of agree. Oh, it's December 2023. That was probably when it was first. Yeah, the whole thing. Thank you, Kat, for actually correcting my information from the previous question. Thank you very much. But yes, I can't believe Stardust Racers is an answer, but I kind of agree with it. That thing is intense. All that airtime hills and whatnot. Oh my god, yeah. So I can understand his physicality. All right. Right before the next question, Kat is in the lead. James just went up. And then it's Chaos Coasters, Thrill Stop, and Mason. For the longevity of Ravine Flyer 2, how should they address retracking in future seasons? This was also mentioned at Coaster Bash. Yeah, these past few questions I heard from Steve directly from Coaster Bash, so this is coming from him. And it's actually really cool information when you dig deeper. All right. Gravity Group pre-cut. Now, this is contradicting because when I went to Coaster Bash in 2024, Steve was actually against the idea of pre-cut. I remember that in the presentation that Gravity Group did. However, it felt like times have changed. And my perspective changed because I've ridden a coaster with pre-cut. The Beast at Kings Island last year. And I thought that section was insanely smooth and it maintained the feel of a wooden coaster. Suffice to say, I would not be upset if this was in their future plans. And apparently it's a stronger, thicker wood, so it lasts longer. So I would not be surprised with pre-cut track in the future. They were actually considering pre-cut for this year, but they backed out at the last minute for unknown reasons. Yes. All right, true and false questions. According to Waldameer's website, Mega Vortex is considered a roller coaster. Hold on. It doesn't kick unless it's like above 70.
When you get a free second, can you switch the antenna up here from the one downstairs? See it, like when you get a chance,
Yeah.
even if it's tomorrow morning.
Okay. Vinny!
So,
Oh, the heat just kicked in.
so I can see if I get channels.
Oh, the heat kicked in. Vinny! Come here.
Okay, I'm going back downstairs. Oh, here comes Coco.
Come here, Koki. Look who showed up. My cats.
Come here, Coco.
Everyone say hi to Finn. Everyone say hi to her. Hi. Meow. She came in to visit. All right. Coco. Give him to me. And look who else showed up. Coco. Everyone say hi to Coco. Hi, Cokie. Okay, they want out. All right. Now with that interruption out of the way, yes, it is not a coaster. End of story. Next question. Sadly, there's a history of unfortunate deaths over the years. Is this true or false? We're getting into park history here. People have asked this before. Yes, unfortunately, there's been 2 deaths in Waldameer's history. One with a Rainbow Gardens fire where her lady tried to retrieve her coat, and then the other one was the original ravine flyer. Why is this a question? It has boggled my mind that people actually asked me that question. Wait, there's a 3rd death? All I know is the Rainbow Gardens death and the Ravine Flyer 1 death. Someone drowned in the beaches in 1901. I didn't even know that. Okay, according to Waldameer's website, on-ride filming is allowed on all rides with any type of device and or mounts. Wow, Cat, I didn't even know that there was a death in 1901. Holy shit. Where'd you find this? Okay, the more you know. I learned a Waldameer fact right now and then. I, the original Waldameer content creator, actually learned something today. An old newspaper clipping. Gotcha. Might want to send that to me privately so I can look at it. When you have the chance. Not now, but when you have the chance. Send that over. So I do want to read that. Alright, actually, all of you got it correct. It is false. Somehow, everyone got an answer correct. Everyone got it correct. How? But yes, it is only allowed with a chest mount, with a 5-point harness. For the uneducated here, or the new fans, or people that need a refresher, for the uneducated, something like this. Something like this suffices. Do not use a wrist mount. People might tell you, oh, wrist mounts are allowed. I've told my friends that if you see a wrist mount, do not let them. And like I said, I don't know about the policy regarding meta glasses. That could be changed as the season goes on. So, like I said, for the safe part, use a chest mount. I don't know the policy about meta glasses at this time. I will be using them unless they say otherwise. Okay, question 14. We know the identity of who voiced the iconic Wacky Shack entrance voiceover. Is this true or false? James lost his streak. That's a bad sign for later. Do you want to ride another ride blindfolded? Alright, we don't know who did it. Now, apparently it was correct me if I'm wrong, Kat. Please correct me. That was recorded sometime in the 90s. However, for one reason or another, and the obvious one, we do not know who the identity is. Some people have said it, some people have theorized it was Bill Tracy himself. Bill Tracy died in 1974. So it wouldn't have been him. Who knows? It could be a long-lost Waldameer write-up. It could be... Who knows? So, I don't know. Well, there's two pieces of lost media I want to find. Who did the Wacky Shack voiceover, and who the hell recorded the Ravine Flyer 2 theme song? You know, the one that goes, the Ravine Flyer at Waldameer. I want to find out who did both of those, especially the guitar solo. But yes, the day I find the lost media about those is the day I'm happy. Yeah, the one that did the original Dodgems, I don't know who did it. But I do know Brian Gorman did the newer Dodgems one. Who let the dogs out? Yes, correct. Correct. All right, true or false? Waldameer is one of very few amusement parks in the United States that offers both free parking and free admission. A guy that one of my high school friends went to church with did the OG. Okay. But yes, it is true. Free admission and free parking is the bread and butter at Waldameer. I cannot imagine a Waldameer without those. Believe me, Connie at Lake Park tried and failed miserably. All right, question 16. Who is Waldameer's official photographer / videographer for content and promotional material? This might be a question. This might be a tough one. Because I know who it is. Not a lot of people are going to know this question. I wouldn't be surprised if multiple streaks are broken. Yeah, I will not be surprised if a couple of people's streaks get demolished here. It's a question that most people don't even think about. Alright, 4 of you got it. Surprisingly, nobody said me, because people might think, oh, I create Waldameer content for them. As a public disclaimer, I am not one. I am not a content creator for Waldameer. I'm not sponsored by Waldameer. Everything I do and say about Waldameer is everything I do or say is 100% my opinion and not sponsored. So, take that as you will. That is my disclaimer. However, the person that does do it is a guy named Paul Gibbons of Gibbons Creative. My uncle is actually good friends with this guy. But I've seen Paul Gibbons many times in my days. He's actually the one that, did all the filming for the commercials. If you've seen the commercials on local television, if you're watching Jet 24, Fox 66, Erie News Now, whatever you're watching with the local stations, if you've seen commercials on Waldameer, Paul Gibbons did the filming for it. Amusement Drive there told me that one. What? Yep. Yeah. I guess. What was the reason for Waldameer closing Monkey Island in the late 1950s? Here is a historical Waldameer attraction that almost nobody has known about unless you actually read the Waldameer book. 2 of you got it right. A company out of New York did their TV ads that I was a part of last summer. Ooh, okay. But I have seen Paul Gibbons run around and do stuff for them, so there is that. However, the answer to this question is the space program. That was the popular rumor. Now, we don't know if that's actually true, because I actually have it in one of my high school yearbooks. Watch this. Where the hell's my yearbooks? Oh, God. We got to go to the Harborian yearbook of 2016 to 2017. That might be my sophomore year of high school. So we're going to go to the Harborian yearbook, and we need to find it. Where is it? Aha! There it is, from Cameron Hitchcock. Waldameer's monkeys never went to space. There you go. You can read that for yourself. It's in my high school yearbook forever. Sophomore year of high school. But no, that is actually the correct answer. It was presumed that the Waldameer monkeys were used for the space program. I doubt anyone from my high school is watching this, but yes, Waldameer monkeys went to space. Suck my pregenital situation. Alright, Spider wasn't scrapped or used as a donor. It was relocated elsewhere and still operates today. Where is it now? What happened on Monkey Island stays on Monkey Island. Fair point. All right, but the correct answer on this question is Territorium Haunted House and Amusements in Oxford, Alabama. Spider was sold for about $25,000, and it operates annually now during their Halloween event, which also includes a few other flat rides and a relocated and rebuilt Bill Tracy dark ride from Florida. That's where it is. Now, Fun Times Fun Park is a fun story because I heard this from one of my viewers way back in the day in 2024. But apparently, it was the original buyer was Fun Times Fun Park in Alliance, Ohio, which is about an hour 45 minutes from Erie. But Territorium swept in the last minute, is what I've heard. So it was very possible that Spider would have been relocated an hour, like nearly less than 2 hours from my house. But that's not the case. All right, next question. What is my biggest problem with modern-day Waldameer? I have to criticize Waldameer here. Ooh, I know who got this right. But 6 of you said poor guest behavior. That is one of the issues I have with Waldameer, but not the biggest issue I have with Waldameer. The biggest issue I have with Waldameer is actually the lack of transparency when it comes to updates in the park. The main culprit, I hate to say this, their Instagram. I want them to be like other parks. Show behind the scenes of the rides. Give updates on, the construction of things. Fun stuff like other parks do. Fucking Seabreeze does it. Well, the Kahoot's almost over anyway, so you're about too late. But yeah, and this has especially been pissing me off, especially with the new slides, because consider it, there's no way in hell it's opening on May 23rd with the water park. But they have not, since vertical construction has started, they have not posted a single picture about it. And they're especially not saying anything about the Vekoma because, well, I exist. And it's even been a bitch slap in the face in the corporate world because they would rather talk to the competitor than mine. You can't win. You can't win. But yeah, my biggest problem is a lack of transparency when it comes to updates. It's something that me, Kat, who probably got this right, and a bunch of other Waldameer fans want to hear. However, poor guest behavior is second. All right, I'm gonna let this one self-contained. Sorry about this, guys. I am actually trying to clean my desk. All right. Everyone's excited. Let's go. All right, who won the Kahoot? Third place will go to Chaos Coasters. Second place will go to James. And in first place, with no surprise, is Kat. Why am I not surprised? Didn't miss a single question, didn't even break. That is the first time ever in Kahoot history that I've been doing live streams that somebody has gotten a 20 out of 20. That is shocking. I have never seen anybody got 20 out of 20 on a Kahoot. What do you mean? What? I have to view the rest of them? Oh, that's bull. Well, yeah, let's see. James got an 85% and Chaos got a 75. Let's see. James got Kat got an A, James got a B, and Chaos Coasters got a C. Yep. That is the first time ever somebody has gotten a perfect 20, a perfect score in Kahoot. Holy shit. If you don't know, before I go on my intermission here, something about Kat I do want to discuss here. She has her own Waldameer Rides database website. She's kind of been saying, the Waldameer Archivist. Don't view it now because we're still in live stream territory. But check out Kat's website. She's got information out the ass. Yeah, the Waldameer Archivist, ahoy. Anything you want to learn about Waldameer is on this website. There are things, like this is like an expanded version of the official Waldameer website. Taking everything and anything about Waldameer and put it into one place. Like, I'll give you an example. Let's go to the Vekoma for a second. A lot of the pictures have been I've submitted from yours truly. Because, one of my close friends, and I trust not to spread my stuff around. And number two, I have a lot of insight too. So, I've been a big contributor to this website. Helping out source a lot of pictures for her when she cannot. So, these are all the pictures I have regarding the coaster over the past several months. This one's hers. Everything else is mine. Let's see. Let's look at Ravine Flyer 2 for a sec. But yeah, there's like a bunch of like stuff on Ravine Flyer 2, like any type of ride. There's even upcoming attractions. There's defunct attractions. Yeah, you should definitely do something about like history. Yeah, you should. So it looks like she is probably looking at possibly expanding the website in the future. I'd love to see that. in future seasons. So when you have time after this live stream, definitely check out her website. She put a hell of a lot of effort in it. I helped it with a lot of pictures too. So I contributed like a small percentage of it, but she did pretty much all the blood and guts of the website. What do you mean an old dump? Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here. Why does RF2 only run one train in May? That's what they always been doing. They don't run 2 trains until June. And usually sometimes the other train is not ready in time. Please do not criticize the park. This is based on maintenance and like maintenance schedules and other things. So don't be bitching at the park, please. But anyway, this is the are you saying on the website or the park? But yeah, I do want to give a shout out for the website. Comet should be running 2 trains by Memorial Day. With the crowds tomorrow and Sunday, I don't expect them to run 2 trains because of the cold. So yeah. It's almost 10 o'clock. I'm going to go do an intermission period. When we get back on my next section of the live stream, we will do a second round of Q&A discussion, which will bleed into the Waldameer Buy or Sell. So I'll be back in a few minutes. We're going to play some half pace real quick. Steel Dragon usually runs about anywhere from 2 to 4 cars. 4 on the busiest days, usually 3 on weekdays. 2 if it's like really, really quiet. Where's half pace? So we're going to play some music from our friends in Half Pace, if you remember that band, and we're going to play their newest song from last year, Best Friend. We will be back in just a few short moments.
Years goes a long way while we're barely scraping by. Laughs and tears like the roadway, walking dangerously. I drop another tap for everything that we've had. Been through the motions, the good and the bad. Gotta suit up for the viewing. I just lost my. I know you're still around, but I'd rather mourn you now. Pull me up when you were down, when there was no way, no how. Even when I'm feeling lonely, I act like you don't know me. Just lost
All right, we're back. Hopefully you enjoyed that half-pace break. Special shout-outs to everybody who's still in the band. I believe my friend Bailey is still in there, so keep kicking ass like you are. And, oops, and there goes my light. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're back for the second half of the live stream. And we are here. So, second round of Q&A and discussion will start right about now. So, do not, for the rule set, do not submit anything buy or sell yet for Waldameer. That is the next section. So, any Q&A and discussion that's not related to buy or sell Waldameer edition, and I'll give you the rules for that when we get there. So, any questions or discussion topics, let's go. Second round. Does it look like I did a water check? If I paid your way, would you come to Camden sometime? Absolutely yes. I want to see how West Virginia's Conneaut Lake Park works. I want to see Conneaut Lake Park in real time. Okay, sorry about this. My light is not working. Whoa, that's way too bright. But yeah, I would absolutely love to come to Conneaut Lake, Camden Park. Big Dipper looks incredible. Yeah, Big Dipper looks incredible. And, Haunted House, it's the other Pretzel Dark Ride credit out there. Have you been to Niagara Amusement Park? Yes. It is such a shame what's happening with that park, and they're not opening at all for the 2026 season. It's such a shame. I love that park. If you had to choose one park to revive from the dead, that's not Conneaut Lake Park, what would it be? And my number one answer in this category is Geauga Lake. That park is probably the biggest what-if scenario in J lore. Yes, it is the biggest what-if scenario in my history as an enthusiast. Because if the park was handled better, if it wasn't handled better, we probably would still have Geauga Lake to this day. I would be a season if this was, I would probably be a season pass holder. I'd be going to the park maybe twice a year. There is no Six Flags New Orleans. That park was way out of my range. Yeah, but Geauga Lake was just the biggest what-if scenario for me. It was so close to Erie, and my family has told me they have went to SeaWorld Ohio before, which was on the other side of Geauga Lake way back in the day before the parks combined. So there's a little bit of a family influence. So my family has been to SeaWorld Ohio. So they have not. It's just a shame that, if Geauga Lake was still there, that park would be calling my name. It would be something I'd be going to on an annual basis. Haunted House credit is insane because I've said this before. Devil's Den at Conneaut Lake Park is a credit. Haunted House is a credit. Sucked by pre-genital situation. And I'm not going to count Six Flags America because I already been there twice. I'm sorry, James, no offense. I will not count Six Flags America in this timeline. Big Dipper in Blackpool. Unfortunately, I was last year. I was called up because of high winds. Yeah, Blackpool, where it's very susceptible to wind, kind of like Cedar Point. So, I don't know. How many dark rides have I rode? Now, there's a branch line of dark rides because there's traditional dark rides, there's simulators, there's shooting dark rides. There's so many. Because we have the 2 at Waldameer, the 1 at Conneaut, the 3 at Kennywood. So that's 6 already. I rode, let's see, the Flying Witch at Niagara, which was the one at where I Playland, so that's 7. All the Universal Orlando dark rides at Islands of Adventure, Universal Studios Florida, and Epic Universe. The only one I have not ridden is E.T. Adventure at Studios, but I've ridden every other dark ride there. So, like Ben in Black, Simpsons, Jimmy Fallon, Transformers, Spider-Man, Forbidden Journey, Mario Kart, Battle with the Ministry. I don't know the exact number. I don't count dark ride credits. I count roller coaster credits. But there's so much I've been on. And I'm probably one of my... all right, I'll give you two in the category. Favorite traditional dark ride and my favorite, like, modern dark ride. My favorite modern dark ride is Harry Potter at the Battle of the Ministry. That thing is fucking incredible. That thing is a spectacle. So much modern stuff going on. There was a lot going on. Honestly, I thought it was better than Forbidden Journey, which people say is the best modern dark ride of all time. No, I think it's Battle of the Ministry. That thing is incredible. My favorite old school dark ride. I have a lot of home park bias because of Waldameer. However, my favorite traditional dark ride is Monster Mansion at Six Flags Over Georgia. Holy shit, what that dark ride does. It's like Old Mill and Pirates Cove mixed together. Like, Monster Mansion is probably the greatest dark ride I've ever ridden. Like, probably one of the greatest dark rides I've ever ridden. That thing is awesome. Love Monster Mansion. Imagine how incredible it would be to have that so close to home, especially if I got that Rumor Morgan Hyper. Yeah, that would have been awesome. Have I been to Lakemont? No. I have seen Lakemont Park before I went to Del Grosso's. I got some footage of it. I didn't go inside the park. I got it from a parking garage. Flying Witch, yeah, R.I.P. Flying Witch. That dark ride was weird, though. I first rode that with Keurig, and then I also rode that, ironically, with Coaster Dash. That was a weird dark ride. That was, like, the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, how? Okay, just, Infusion at Blackpool. Oh, Infusion, the SLC. Yikes. I'm so sorry. The SLC. Okay, I think that's all the questions we have. I am not announcing when I'll be at Waldameer, besides opening and closing day, because those are important to me. I will not be announcing any time I go to my home park regardless of that, because I don't want organized fan meetup events. I just want to enjoy the parks as God intended to be, as an escape from reality. So I hate when people ask, oh, are you going to Waldameer on X and 6 and 7 day? I don't know. I work full time. Waldameer's not a priority. I will go on my free time. So if that's everything we have with that, we will move on to Waldameer Buy or Sell. So I got this from Airtime Throws, which I also got the live stream version from Coaster Hour, one of my biggest influences for live streams. So buy or sell, you basically give me a topic within the realms of Waldameer. And basically this can mean, anything from a ride removal to a ride addition to, park improvements, long-term plans, short-term plans, stuff like that. Anything that involves like building Waldameer up is fair game. So you give me a topic about Waldameer and I will buy or sell that. So buy basically means yes, sell basically means no. So I'm interested to see your Waldameer input because obviously Waldameer is not a complete park. There's a lot of things that can be improved on. There's a lot of things I could see added, things I could see removed. So I will take your questions. I will also open up Google Maps too as a visual so we can walk through a lot of these because I'm sure this needs a visual cue. And we will actually start with Kat's first question. Buy or sell, West Lakeview is leaving within the next 5 years. Let's bring up Google Maps and see what we're working with. That is not what I want. There we go. Let's go to Google Maps and find what we're working with. So obviously this map is not current. Google Maps cannot update themselves past 2015. So pretend everything from 2015 on is added. And we have to go to West Lakeview, which is this picnic grove in the back of the park between the maintenance shops and Rainbow Gardens. So, this is a tough question because it's really going to depend on how much the Vekoma coaster, how much of that land the Vekoma uses. Because I could see this two ways. The first route is that the Vekoma only uses part of the land, and then the other half is used for future expansion. The other half I see is them getting rid of it and expanding the maintenance shop out this way. So I'm going to definitely say buy for getting rid of West Lakeview Grove in the next 5 years. Because the key to this is actually West Ball, which is actually perfect. The map is outdated because for those who are unfamiliar, a block zone is a section of track that only one train may occupy. But at the same time, on the other side of the coin, here is West Ball, the former Picnic Grove, which is now Hilltop Grove on the other side of the park. This is a good representation of it because, honestly, why the hell is there a Picnic Grove this far out? So, and they already got rid of Lakeview, which is pretty much a calling card to, get in the Vekoma. So, I will say buy for getting rid of West Lakeview. What it's being used for in the future will depend on what the roller coaster does. So, we will find out once the roller coaster is announced. But I do definitely see this Picnic Grove being called out because of the other two Picnic Groves being out of the way. Because if you see, here's the rest of the Picnic Groves. Here's the new parking lot. And Hilltop Grove will probably... The Grove is going to be somewhere in this area. Yeah, so here it is. That's probably about an estimate where it's going to go. So I will say yes on this one. Buy or sell, Waldameer will build a coaster that goes upside down in the future. I have to buy this one as well because, there's a buy with a sell catch. I think Chaos will be the only ride going forward, like the only flat ride that goes upside down. Pretend this is Chaos here. This is Chaos, the Zamperla Frisbee ride. However, I've been saying this for years, and I'm going to say it again till I die. RMC Raptor, where Pine Hill, Pine Valley is. Right across the train tracks, you could put a small clone of Fire Runner in this spot. There you go. Now, I'm buying that it will happen. I'm selling it because it will be the only coaster that goes upside down. That's the catch. It will be the only... Chaos and the RMC Raptor will be the only two rides that go upside down in the park. There will be no other rides added in the future within the next reality 5 to 10 years that will go upside down. But Waldameer, if you are listening to me, add what I suggested. A Eurofighter could work in this area too if you made it compact enough. But RMC Raptor just screams Waldameer. Let's see. Talking about Blackpool. That is not the topic right now. We have already passed the Q&A and discussion thread. Let's move on. Buy or sell Top Thrill 2 being relocated from Cedar Point to Waldameer. An automatic sell. Do you want that Zamperla reliability piece of garbage at Waldameer? It's probably not going to be updated here either, but why I digress. Look at... I know this is... Pretend the spikes here. But look at the size of Top Thrill 2. Try to put that anywhere. Try to put that anywhere in Waldameer. Absolutely not. I know Waldameer has a good relationship with Zamperla, but I don't see, relocating a 420-foot tall strata coaster up I-90. I'm being careful where I go so I don't reveal anything. Okay. back to where we were. Yeah, if you took Top Thrill and put it somewhere, it would probably stretch the entire midway of Waldameer. No, not an instant buy. That's an instant sell. Oh, God, no. 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 No, 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 no. Buy or sell Intimate Ultra Surf themed to Valley State University. Hell no. Automatic sell. Oh, that is a horrible, horrible question. If you know the lore about this, you get a veteran's discount because there's a user. Well, I'm going to remain anonymous, but people might know who I'm talking about. There's a user on Facebook that always says Intimate Ultra Surf themed to Valley State University in Georgia. And Waldameer has shut it down every time. All the time. Where would they add an Ultra Surf that is not the RMC Raptor plot? You can't think of it. But yeah, we are not adding an Intimate Ultra Surf, and that goes by my saying, we are not adding an Intamin period. All right. Buy or sell. Waldameer possibly redo some of their parking lots. Now, you are technically right because it's already happened. This parking lot. I know this is outdated, but follow me with this. This used to be the trailer park. Waldameer bought this in 2023. And in 2025, they actually used this as overflow parking. Now, the real question is, as the park gets bigger, what happens to this parking lot? They could go by, yeah, so we already know that this whole area is going to be one giant parking lot in some regard. So what happens to this parking lot? So this is from the 8th Street entrance over here, which I will agree, this is a terrible intersection if you've ever been on it. Let's go from Westlake Road, which is 8th Street. This is the intersection here. You have 6th Street over here. There's the trailer park, which is now the new overflow parking. And here's Waldameer's entrance. It's a terrible intersection. So all of these are, the overflow parking. And here's the parking lot proper. Now, this is a toughie. Because Waldameer's not afraid to push their limits. But I would love to see them expand around here and, make a more complete park. But my concern here is with the neighbors here with these cottages and summer homes and rentals and all this stuff. Basically, all of these homes. That's my biggest concern. Because we already had obstruction from Ravine Flyer 2 with the campground and the neighbors here. We already have a coaster on the way that's in between two residential areas. For right now, Lizzie, I'm going to say sell. Within the next 5 years, I do not think this parking lot will be touched. It's already buyed because this is technically part of the parking. We're the trailer trash. Well, they've already been relocated. But in terms of this parking lot, I'm probably going to say no at the moment. I'm going to sell this for now. At least in the next 5 years, no. Maybe in the next 10 years as a grander plan, maybe. But there's a lot of logistical concerns, with the employee entrance, where the other cars are going to go, maintenance stuff, where you're going to path rides and stuff. There's a lot of factors to this. All right. I will agree it could be pushed south, but again, not within the next 5 years. Now, people have asking me about this parking lot here before I get to the next question. People have asked me about this parking lot. This is technically Waldameer's property here. This is the Tom Ridge Center. That's their parking lot. This is owned by the state. This park and whatnot. So this is completely separate to Waldameer. This is Waldameer's property. So this is an overflow lot on busy days. On like the busiest days, like, holy shit, I'm not going to the park. This is what it looks like from when you're on Peninsula Drive. So, and people have always asked me, oh, why not build a bridge over Peninsula Drive and put it there? I do not see that because that's just a huge logistical concern. And I don't think once the water park stuff is done in the northern half of the park, with the raft slides and then the eventual tube slides that are coming in phase 2, I think the water park's going to be complete. I mean, there is another personal thing I want to talk about. If anyone wants to talk about anything Waterworld related, put me down. But I do not see them putting a bridge across Peninsula Drive to expand the park this way. People have theorized that when this area was removed for balloon race to expand the water park this way. That's not happening. That didn't happen because balloon race occupies this spot now. But there's no way, I'm going to say they're going to keep this parking lot. They need to. So yeah, you would be able to fit like another part of the park, but that's my theory. All right. Buy or sell, Waldameer's next coaster could be a family suspended coaster. Now, if they continue the family route like this and not go the RMC Raptor route, in all honesty, I would buy this. I would not be opposed. Reason? Dragon Flyer at Dollywood comes to mind. I rode that last summer. It was awesome. Which actually I will get, where is RCDB? The Waldameer influence comes back hard. Dragon Flyer is a awesome Vekoma family invert. Great for families. It kind of has a huge punch to it too, especially this Millennium Force inspired overbank. But I would not be opposed to something like this at Waldameer in the future. Even if it's a clone like Dragonflyer or they get a custom layout, I could see this in their future. Now, where would it go? I don't know. Waldameer is tight on space. But I wouldn't be opposed after my prediction of a family launch. I think a family invert would coincide. So I will have to buy this because, again, Dragonflyer is a really good coaster. It's super underrated. It's a great addition to Wildwood Grove. The only concern I have is that it can only operate one train. That is, if they do the block break sections correctly, they could run 2 trains. Honestly, I could see that in Waldameer's favor for the future. I do. For a park the size of Dollywood, can only run 1 train because the station is the brake run is abysmal. So I don't see that. Okay. Sorry, my throat was clogged. All right. They need to double down on the flying swings and make it 50 times the size. That is an automatic sell. They do not need a Sky Screamer-esque ride like Darien Lake. No. And look at the space of land that it already occupies. Making it bigger would cost a would be worse for the park. So I think it's fine. I can't agree a park like Waldameer could get away with it, but I know capacity has been a thing in Paul Nelson's tenure and then now in the current ownership. So I would not be surprised. Buy or sell S&S Screaming Swing. Ooh. For as ambitious that ride is, I may I may have to say no. Because it takes, even with the smaller model, like Swing Shot at Kennywood, let's go to Kennywood for a minute. Everyone say hello to Kennywood. It's a pretty decent sized plot of land here. Whoa, I'm in the park. Whoa, I'm actually at Swing Shot. Hello. But this is even with the tiniest model. And how it extends out in the midway, I don't really see that. Plus, with the giant air compressor there, I think that would be a noise issue, especially for neighbors. So as much as I would love to see one, I don't see it best fit. I could think of like 6 or 7 different Zamperla rides that could fit better than this. But a Screamin' Swain, leave it to Kennywood. And now I am starting to creep over to... There we go. Back to Waldameer. Yeah, so I'm not going to say that. Yeah, Screamin' Swain would not be a good fit for this park. And I know people have said, oh, add a slingshot right here. I think that's too extreme for Waldameer. I think that's too extreme. Waldameer does not need something like a slingshot ride. That is too much for the park demographic we have. Like I said, and I'm going to say it again, Waldameer is a family park first, most, and all right last. 1, 2, 3, safe, clean, fun. That's what Waldameer is. It's a family park with family attractions. I know we have I know and I think if we don't get the RMC Raptor, I think Ravine Flyer 2 will be the most extreme ride in the park going forward. It is meant to be their signature attraction. It will stay that way. I love a Ravine Flyer as much as the next person, but I don't think anything could top this star attraction. This was meant to be a star attraction. It was under Mr. Nelson's ownership. He wanted this thing so bad. I don't see it happening. So, all right, let's not get sexual here. Whoever this hands up, don't shoot. Let's not get freaky here. Yeah, let's not get freaky here. There's kids watching. But anyway. Now, here's a couple of my own if you have any other buy or sell predictions, let me know. Because if we don't, I do have a few of my own personal theories I want to share. And this one may stir controversy. Some of these might stir controversy of their own. So, all right. So if there's not any other discussions we want to use, I will talk about my next theories, my personal buy or sell theories, because I have a couple. Go watch Blackpool BOPs. Nice one. All right, so if there's no other no other buy or sell, let me tell you a few of my own ones. And here's my biggest one. What is the next ride that Waldameer needs to remove? There is again, this is a 2015 map, so this is a lot different. But out of all the rides in the park, what do you think? Put it in the comments now. What do you think would be removed next? Ooh, like Tin Lizzie at Darien Lake. Ooh. If they have the space for it, yes. I'm only going to say that. Buy if they have the space for it. I love antique car rides. All right, but what do you think, in your opinion, could be the next ride to go? Because I know my take. And my take is Wipeout. Here is my theories about Wipeout. That ride, and you can even see in this 2015 photo it was having issues. But Wipeout's been having a lot of mechanical issues over the past several seasons. And it's become, I mean, the popularity is kind of still there, but it's not as popular as it when it opened. I mean, the only reason that area kind of is being, that area is still being carried by its music. Let's be honest. But I feel like Wipeout, considering its mechanical issues and whatnot, could be the next ride to go. They could reroute the RF2 exit, to continue the continuity of Tide Twister, the Vekoma, and RF2, that whole plaza. And if they did replace Wipeout with a different ride, I could see a Zamperla Windstars ride similar to the one at Seabreeze, which I will look up on their website right now. Products. Where the fuck? Flat rides. We gotta go down all the way. Oh my god. We gotta dig all the way down. I don't think it'll be replaced with another one. Hey, Balloon Race! Hello there. Samba Balloon 8. Hey, that's us. Okay. But yeah, I think something like a Windstars at a Seabreeze works. It's basically a ride that you pump your own, you can pump your own height. You can choose your own height. You can go low. You can be high. Kind of like one of these. I think it would be the perfect fit at Waldameer. So, I think that's the best fit for that area. What the hell? Okay. Okay, so that's probably my next ride to be removed. Now, Kat made a good point here because a lot of people have also theorized about Alibaba's future. Now, it did get some renovations this year, like a huge overhaul to the ride. And with that, I think that kind of confirms that Alibaba will be staying longer. So I think Alibaba is safe for now. James? Thunder River? Yikes. That's an automatic sell. Holy shit. James, I'm good friends with you, but that was a fucking horrible opinion of yours. Holy shit. You know how people would be pissed? Now, if they did get rid of it, I would see a shoot-to-shoot in its place. However, considering the control upgrades and whatnot, the only reason why it's been breaking down a lot, it's very sensitive to faults. It's a whole control thing that I'm not going to disclose, but it is... Basically, it is prone to more faults. But that doesn't mean it's more unreliable. But, oh god, that was a horrible opinion. And yes, Kat, you made a good point about the whole log jammers. Yikes. Yikes, James. Okay, now when it comes to Waterworld removals, the water park is pretty much complete. So pretend this is the whole water park expansion with the new stuff, the new slide. All 4 of the new slides are in. Rally Racer, and all this stuff. So that leaves one odd thing out. The odd one's out. Yeah, this ain't the UK where safety standards are a lot more laxed. This is America. Okay, the Bermuda Triangle theory. This is a question I've been settling with friends. Because in terms of like all the water slides, these are the tube slides I think will stay. They're still very popular. Riley Race is popular. But Bermuda Triangle is the odd one out. The odd ones out here. Because, first of all, now with the addition of Rocket Blast, it is pretty much welded in with this. But look at the plot of land that Bermuda hits. This is a very small plot of land here. So, this Bermuda Triangle theory, and here's the other catch. In 2030, these slides will be 40 years old. They first opened in 1990. So, these will be like now translated because pretty much all the 1980s water slides are gone. Bermuda Triangle is the oldest slide in the park. So, it's by a wooden tower, wooden steps. Everything else is modernized. So, what could replace Bermuda? Now, you could go the realistic route or you could go the cool route. The cool route is actually to replace something like with actual speed slides, like a spiritual successor to the freefall speed slides that used to be here, these white ones. That's theory number one. Theory number two would probably be the more disappointing part. Will probably be more cabanas and other things. And considering that you have to walk under Rocket Blast's tower to get to Rally Racer and to Bermuda's entrance, I hate to say it, Bermuda is now an eyesore. I hate to say it. Bermuda Triangle is now an eyesore in the park. Plus, in terms of all the water slides in the water park, they do have the least amount of foot traffic in the park. And if Waldameer continues to have inspirations from Holiday World, I think they're going to try to phase out body slides completely, unless you are the children's areas, which is over here. You know, Kids Zone and the Battle Lake Erie. I think the goal is to phase out body slides. So, I'm going to go with the Holiday World theory here, though. So, again, you could replace them with something, but again, it'd be very difficult to add another tower. Because, one, this yellow tent, Rocket Blast, one of the turns from Rocket Blast actually passes through this tower, like above it, just barely. So, that would be a difficult decision. And then again, the green slide here is wrapping around the tower. So, there's not a lot you can do with this plot of land. So, those are the two major ride removals I could see. In terms of, like, additional things I would like to see, the plot where Chaos is, I remember reading this in a theme park review discussion thread that they were intending to expand this area. So, for purposes that I'm going to talk about, I think in the realistic things, I think the RMC Raptor or whatever the new coaster could go in this spot. And I think they could get rid of at least one more picnic grove, maybe two. But I could also see another ride next to Chaos in the future. I don't see them touching this area, and then if they really want to relocate more picnic groves down here, they can. Because the theory is, if they're relocating West Ball to Hilltop here, I feel like they're going to be pushing the picnic groves more south this way, so that they can expand the midway south. It's a migration thing. In my timeline, this parking lot stays for now, so I wouldn't touch that. And then, again, what happens with this land really depends on how much of the new Vekoma uses the lakefront property. You could add additional things down here. You can make your own Wildwood Grove. And then that's pretty much it for land, because there's no way in hell they're going to bulldoze all of these resident homes. Or these. I mean, there's a 1% chance they could mess with this area and expand that property, because they do own the access road over here. Next to Ravine Flyer, which is also the access road for the Vekoma, because that's where all the clearing has been going. So there is a 1% chance they could mess with this area, but I see this highly unlikely. So that is my theory of Waldameer. Feel free to comment down below what you think of everything I have discussed so far. So feel free to talk about your opinions amongst yourselves, or you can flame me in the comments. Please flame me if you do. And I'm trying to figure out how I want to do the next thing. Because I was going to play some old videos for my next segment. However, considering how we are on time, we're probably going to jump around a little bit. So yeah, we're going to jump around. Yeah, so we're probably going to jump around a little bit. So we are going to get rid of the video rewind. Because we were going to play some old videos from my catalog. But considering where we are on time, we're probably not going to be doing that tonight. We'll probably do that in November. Possible picnic tables by beach. No. That wasn't an original plan to use this area more sufficiently with like a family ride, a water ride, a restaurant, picnic area, and possibly a Outer Sky Loop roller coaster. But I like what they're doing. I like their plans already for this new area. So I don't see them expanding the picnic area beyond what they already have. And that's what I feel like with the water park. I don't see them expanding the water park further than they already have in the blueprint. The only thing I see is the Bermuda Triangle theory. So I do see that in the future. If they hadn't put a coaster down there, I think that picnic down there would have happened. Yes, correct. I do agree with you. If those plans weren't canceled, yeah, that would have been developed. But again, I much prefer what they're doing now with the clearing down there, so I think I like it. Flatten the whole thing and start again. No, I will not start again. Waldameer is already 52 acres in size. How the hell are they going to get more land? Oh, just relocate over here. No. You're stupid. You are absolutely stupid. Yeah, you're not going to bulldoze the place and start again. So, that's my theory. So, we're going to skip the video rewind portion of the video, of the live stream, because we are running short on time. We'll do that in November when we celebrate my channel anniversary. Okay, so we're going to do a little quick lightning tier list round about regional parks. We're going to do a regional park tier list. Now, this is not my rankings based on how I like the parks. I'm basing this off ride counts. I'm going to take some of my ride counts from the past few years that I spent a full day at the park of my choosing, and I'm going to determine the parks based on ride counts. Let's go. So I uploaded, I have 10 local places around the area, and I'm putting them in letter grade from A to F. So remember, this is not based on my true opinion of the park. This is based on my ride counts. How efficient can I ride everything in the park? Do I have enough time? Can I marathon things? Are there long lines? Etc., etc. So there's a bunch of criteria. So we are going to start with Waldameer, and it really depends on the day you go at the park. So it really depends what you do. If you do it efficiently on a weekday, you're going to have it. So I'm probably going to put Waldameer in the C tier in terms of ride counts, because it can go either way. You can have a good day, or you cannot have a good day. Actually, I put more so in B tier, because if you go on the right day, yeah, you're going to have a marathon. You can pull a 50 plus on RF2 without even thinking about it. So, but you're not going to get that all the time. So I'll probably put that at B tier. It is possible to possibly do everything you want. I am going to do a challenge video where I try to ride everything in the park and water park. So I will put that to shame. And I am going to put this user in timeout for goodbye. Okay, next park. Let's look locally and then let's go regionally. All right, so the next local thing is I'm going to talk about Splash Lagoon here. So, Splash Lagoon, never, ever go on a weekend. Ever. The enthusiast way to do Splash Lagoon is now the real way I do Splash Lagoon, is going on off-peak days. When I go on off-peak days, especially I have been in the past several years, I can hella ride count the place. This is actually one of the, for as negative I can be about Splash Lagoon, this is one of the best parks for ride counts. Again, I got 15 on Python Plunge last time I went. When I went in November, I got 25 on Python Plunge. I could ride a good chunk of the water slides over 10 plus times. I mean, I had a ride count with 21 on Python Plunge. You know, stuff like that. Splash Lagoon, if you do it on an off-peak day, you can get the best ride counts. All right, let's go Conneaut Lake Park here, because now, if this was pre-COVID, this would be one of the better parks. But unfortunately, within the past several years, Conneaut has went to shit. It actually is one of the worst parks now for ride counts, because there's barely anything left. And when you do go for, like, say, Ghost Lake, you can only experience everything once. And then Pumpkin Fest is only 2 days a year. So, for as bad as Conneaut Lake Park is, I have to give it the proper letter grade of an F. So, sorry. All right, let's branch out a little bit. Midway State Park. This one's probably towards the middle of ride counts. You can get this a C. You could probably ride everything in like an hour or two. Yeah, so it's sort of in the middle. I don't marathon. I like to ride everything at least once, a couple things twice or three times. It's just a park I can relax at and not worry about, you know, the high, traffic parks. So, Midway is in the middle tier. All right, let's expand a little further. Fun for All. This one is probably getting a D tier for one reason: the time pass. Now, there is flexibility with the time pass because you can do either a 2, 3, or 4 hour time pass. However, I always go with the 2 hour time pass, and it feels like a little game to ride everything. So, and if you pay individually, that can get expensive as is too. So, it's better than Conneaut Lake Park when you're trying to ride things. It's just you're on a time limit if you do get the time pass, which the cheapest time pass for 2 hours is $35, which is not worth it. I was there for an hour and I rode like 3 things. I was in and out. All right, let's expand this a little further. Niagara. We're going to put this in the Niagara tier. Niagara, considering the trouble of this park, this has been a park where you can get a massive ride count because of the lack of crowds. That was the one good thing about Niagara that actually benefited for enthusiasts, is that you could pretty much stay on Silver Comet as much as you want until you get kicked off and then you have to walk around again. But there have been times I've marathoned Silver Comet at least 50 times. 2 of my 4 visits, I marathoned it. 2 of my 4 visits, I rode it 105 times. It's insane. The last time I went with my friend Kat, we rode it 14 times. And then that closed because of the stupid bee problem. So, you can get an awesome ride count on Niagara. But unfortunately, the park as is as is. All right. Now, and these are places I frequently visit, by the way. So we're not going to get into like parks like, Hershey, Kings Island, stuff like that. This is just regional. All right, the Erie County Fair. We're not going to go too far off the beaten path. The fair aspect, I'll put this with the fun for all stuff. I'll probably put it like D+, borderline C-, because it is an expensive wristband, like at least $35-$40. And some of the rides do have no single rider rules, so you're kind of limited on that one. But it is better than Funfall in that aspect. But you're not going to be expecting the marathon things. This is a 12-day event. It's the third largest county fair in the country. Yeah. Idlewild. More so a D- tier. Because as good as Idlewild is with their stuff, it's a park that you kind of struggle to get to. It's a park to struggle with. Because the slow loading times is a big thing. I know they're under IROC training and whatnot, but they have slower than normal dispatches. I mean, the most amount of times I rode a coaster in a day there is probably twice, 3 times. And besides, I don't really spend much time at Idlewild. I think combined total, I spent maybe 4 or 5 hours between the 2 visits, which is not a lot. All right, and then we have the big 3 regional parks: Kennywood, Cedar Point, Darien Lake. Let's go with Darien Lake. We'll go back to New York for a little bit. So Darien Lake is the one-train op capital of the world, at least in this side of the Mississippi. However, I love Darien Lake to death. I've had days at Darien Lake where I have marathon things. I've had really good ride counts. And it's better than Midway in that sense. But the only reason why it's not getting B tier is because of the one train op problem that they somehow have a fetish with. They kind of do have a fetish with one train ops. But I always have a good time at Darien Lake. I'm not necessarily worried about riding things. I tend to ride everything I want when I go to that park anyway, including water park. Because if I add the water park too, I'm able to squeeze everything in pretty precisely. So I'm able to plan that out. And like I said, despite the bullshit, it's a good park for ride counts. Now the last 2, Kennywood and Cedar Point. I'm putting Kennywood in the B tier. Because Kennywood, over the past several years, I've been able to get some awesome ride counts. Nothing like the level of Splash Lagoon or Niagara type ride counts. Very close. Actually, I'll put this above Waldameer because I've had some damn good stuff recently. Especially 2024 Kennywood. Like, there have been times I've marathoned Phantom's Revenge almost like 20 to 25 times without getting off. Like, I marathoned Steel Curtain last year. Put that in the same sentence. I marathoned Steel Curtain, for God's sake. I marathoned Thunderbolt at one point. 6-ride marathon on Thunderbolt back in 2022. So, definitely, like with Kennywood, you can definitely get the crowds. I've seen them before. But again, it's a B+ tier park when it comes to ride counts. The most amount of times I've ridden Phantom's Revenge without getting off is 22 times. It's insane. And then finally, this park is a do or die. It is a do or die park. It's going to get its own tier. Because Cedar Point is a very unique park in the region. It's not going to get a ranking because it is dictated by 2 things: weather and fast lane. The weather can really fuck up your day. However, most times, 6 times out of 7, your day is going to be dictated about using fast lane or not. Now, I've done Cedar Point in both ways. I much prefer doing Fastlane, but it's a hella expensive upcharge. Sometimes up to $200 on peak weekends. And I've been able to get awesome ride counts with it. But I've also been able to get awesome ride counts without Fastlane. It's how you plan the park. So I can't really say which is better, how Cedar Point is. It is one of my all-time favorite parks, but it's just so difficult to plan that it's in its own unique category. And thus is how I rank the parks in my region based on ride counts. If you do it the way I do it, this is how you see the parks based on that. Now, what would be my park rankings besides that? So, take your screenshot here. Now, how would I rank the parks personally in this department? I'm going to do some, It's not too far off. This would be my ranking if my actual opinions on the park. Actually, D tier. D plus. C. Okay. This is how I would rank the parks properly. If this was based on, actually, Waldameer is actually going in C tier, actually. Nope, B tier. Sorry, Darien Lake over Waldameer. I got my bias. I'm sorry. Kill me now. All right, next question. Next segment. All right. That's done with the tier list ranking. To the Oregon Trail we go. To the ORG Trailblazer. Now, we are going to play a little fun, exciting game, a nice, quiet, adult game of the Oregon Trail. The problem is, we have stakes on the line. Okay. All right, so what's at stake here? So basically, me and my bunch of my friends that are doing the Kings Dominion Busch Gardens Williamsburg trip, we have all agreed on one thing. So, I am putting everyone at stake. Me, James, Colton, Derek, and Freddie. We're putting all 5 of us in a ORG Trailblazer wagon. And basically, whoever dies must ride Pantheon blindfolded. Now, you may recall the last live stream, James died literally 2 miles from Oregon. 2 miles. And that was one of the best live stream moments I've ever had, when James died. So, we are putting the stakes again. So, basically, if some people might not make it, so if some people don't make it and they can't come to Busch Gardens Williamsburg, they will be doing a blindfolded ride of their choice. I know Derek told me that. But yes, me, Colton, James, Derek, and Freddie are going to be on a quest to make sure we don't ride a blindfolded ride. And considering I already have to ride Pantherian blindfolded, wouldn't it be fitting if I died and actually went on Pantheon? All right, let's go. We are going to be a carpenter from Swag Lake, Ohio. Jay, James, Derek, Freddie. Okay. We have it. All right, so these names are correct. All right, we are going to leave in May because we are in May. We got to go to Matt Rabe's General Store. All right, total bill. We're going to go with 4 yokes. We're going to go with 670 pounds of food. We're going to go with 5 pairs of clothing. Gonna go with 10 boxes. All right. Spend a little bit more than half. Actually, I'm gonna go with another. I'm gonna go with 1,000 pounds of boot. What the hell? I want 1,000 pounds of food. Okay, yes. All right. For the quest of Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, onward with the Orgy Trailblazer. All right, here we go. And we are going to change the pace immediately to a steady pace. Nope, we are going to keep steady, and we are going to continue on the trail to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. Wow, Derek already has a broken leg, and it's already May 3rd. Son of a bitch. All right, we are looking at the Kansas River. You must cross the river in order to continue. The river at this point is currently 619 feet across and 3.7 feet deep in the middle. What do we do to this? We are going to cook it and make it across. I'm a goddamn genius. Onwards to Blue River. An abandoned wagon, empty. Do not ford the river. Oh no, I lost 4 days. Alright, onwards. And oh boy, Freddy has a broken arm. That's 2 broken bones. Oh, we're at the Big Water Bend crossing. Bear in the Big Blue River. 226 feet across and 1.9 feet deep. We're going to cook it over the river. Don't you mean the cook? Alright, we penis blast the river. Alright, it is 118 miles to Fort Kearney. Oh boy, we broke our wagon. I wonder why. I was able to repair it. Hooray. It is Memorial Day weekend, and we made it to the fort. Actually, considering our pace, we are actually gonna buy supplies. We're gonna go to 7. We're gonna have another 100 pounds of food. And leave. And we are gonna rest for 3 days. Alright, 250. Oh shit, we lost a day. Oh well. Oh boy, another broken wagon. Whose fat ass is building this thing? Alright. Let's see what kind of trades we got. No trades. Damn it. That's 9 bullets. Not a good... No. Terrible. Alright, we're going to stop the rest for another 2 days. Change our pace to 2. And we're going to keep going. It's always June when I break my leg. On Kingston. Why does God hate me? God hates me. Because when I broke my leg, I broke my the first time, in modern channel history, I broke it in June 13th, 2020. Then I think June 8th, 2023. And now June 11th. Oh my God. Stop. Who's the gravesite? Nobody. Actually, I'm going to change that to meager. I'm trying to hunt. Now this is the Now this is going to be the worst part. Hunting for food. No! Buffalo Bills. Damn it. Deer! Damn it! I moved. Missed. Bear! I got 100 pounds at least. Whatever. Got 100 pounds. Alright, Chimney Rock. We're going to the fort. We're going to try to get more food. Alright, we're going to get food. No! Alright, we're actually going to rest for a couple days. We're going to go for another 5 days to rest. Using the cool weather to our advantage. And we're actually going to hunt for food again. Go! Well, go! Ah! I will make sure nobody dies. Son of a bitch. I hate these controls. I killed a bunny. Wow. I am done. I'm done. I'm so fucking done. God damn it. Now I have the right Pantherian and Pantheon blindfolded. I am Panther screwed. God damn it. I should just end the game. I should just end the game right here. Who would have thought? The first person to die is the one who made the bet in the first place. God damn it. I want to rest. 5 days. Back on the trail. Uh-oh, bad water. Bad water. I need a rest for another 3 days. Hunt. I need a hunt. I need a hunt for food. Why won't I move? I got a squirrel. Yay. £64. God damn it. We're going to the fort. We need a hunt for food or trade. Actually, I am, no. No. I gotta hunt for food again. Hunt for food. Oh my God. Oh my God. Go! Fuck. No, I missed a deer. Oh. Alright, I got 2 deer. I got 100 pounds. Oh my God, the wagon's broke. Keep going. Alright, we're at the fort. Keep going. Alright, pour. Rest for another 5 days. Onwards. Freddy got lost. That's a new one. Did he go to the Black Forest or something? Jesus. Check my bullets. I have 74 bullets. I'll be all right. I will be fine, James. I have bullets. I found fruit. And I got clothing. We're fine. God damn it. James has measles. Soda Springs. Next fort. Freddy has measles. All right. 2 days to rest. September 1st, we're back. Buy supplies. Food. All right, we're going to go 200. Actually, I'm going to go another... we're probably going to go with another 100. And then... 2... 5... Son of a bitch. Alright, we're done. We're leaving the store. Back on the trail to Snake River Falls. Very poor. Three days of rest. Who died? Anthony? James's editor died? Hey, James, I think your editor died. Sweet dreams are made of these. I wouldn't. Na, 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 na. Anthony died. One set of clothing. Absolutely. Impossible trail? 10 days? Actually, that's good. That's actually good. My health is much better. My health is much better now. Yes, I will fix it. We have a spare part. Absolutely. All right. We're at the Snake River Falls. 1,003 feet across, 6.5 feet deep. We're going to hire a Washington Redskin. We will hire the Washington Redskins to help us. Please show us the way. Show us the way. No trouble. The Washington Redskins helped once again. 113 miles on the wall, 113 miles away. Track one down, give them around 121 miles away. All right, 3 days. We're actually making progress. All right. Actually, we're going to buy some supplies and get some ammunition. We're going to get 5 boxes and get additional food. And we're going to leave the store. Rough trail. Yikes. Did somebody ride Predator at Darien Lake? Oh God, Freddy has measles. All right, change the stop the rest for another 3 days. Nope. That's another. Ooh. 2 sets of clothing, 63 bullets, and a wagon ton. But the problem is, we need to stop the rest for another 5 days. Okay, we're back on our feet. How does an ox wander off? What the hell? How's that even work? Lose 3 days. We gotta go to the map. Do we go to the Dallas? The Dallies, or do we go to Fort Wally World? Fort Wally World or Washington Dulles? What do we do here? We're gonna go to Fort Wally World. Get some more food. We're actually gonna get food here. All right. Buy supplies. Whoa, we got 250 left. Hell yeah. And oh shit, yeah, winter's coming. Derek has a fever. We're gonna rest for 2 days. Oh, we have a broken wagon. Colton, stop breaking the wagon. $8 days? It's almost Thanksgiving. It's almost Thanksgiving now. Holy shit. Oh no! Oh no! No, I don't have enough money! No! I have to float down the river! This is a suicide mission! No! I could kill everybody in one sweep! I have no choice! God damn it. I'm fighting for this group. No! No! I killed Derek! Son of a bitch! No! 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 Shit! Sorry, Derek! Damn it! I killed Derek. You were a bad driver. Alright. If I hit a rock, it's game over. Oh! You hit the shore and drowned, Derek. How do you feel about this? Because Colton is a bad driver. Oh my god. Oh no. No! Oh my god, I have no money left. Oh, I am screwed. I am screwed. I lost a good chunk of oxen. This is why I hate it. Missed the landing? I made it to Oregon. And it only cost me and Derek. My score is 2,500 points. Well, guys, it doesn't matter. I fucking lost again. Betting on stupid shit like this. Well then. That was kind of terrible. That was terrible. All right then. That was a mess of a day. So that was bad. Now I gotta write Pantheon blindfolded. Son of a god. Oh, that was intense. Well, I'm writing Pantherian and Pantheon blindfolded. I'm pan-screwed. Alright, it's 11:17. Final Q&A and discussion thread. Let's go. We're going to go through the final Q&A. So if you have any final questions or things you want to talk about, last minute things, speak now or forever hold your peace. So, yep. Well, shit. So if you have any final questions, speak now or forever hold your peace. Oh, I'm ready to ride RF2 in just about 12 hours. Absolutely, Cat. I can't not wait to ride that thing again. I'm excited, curious, and terrified all at the same time. You should be, Derek. Remember, I put all 5 of us in a bet. Guess who came out the loser? I died. And your death was accidental. So if anything, you know what, James? Even though Derek died in the river, I'm not going to count him. Derek's safe. Derek is safe. If anything, it should just be me who suffers because funny. So, I'm going to give you a certified pass, Derek. You don't know, even though you died in the river, that was because of bad driving. That was not because... So, you are fine. As for me, I have to punish myself. You only die on the actual trail. You don't die in the river. Is Rango the best movie? I've actually never seen Rango. I have never seen Rango, so I cannot comment to the quality of the movie. So I do not recommend. I do not know my take on Rango. And James approves of the decision, so just let me suffer because content. All right. Any other questions? Because if we do not, we will go straight to the Metallica jam and jam out for the rest of the night. I will when I have time. Okay. Looks like we do not have anything else in mind, so it is time for the Metallica jam. Because why not? So, we're going to do another Metallica jam because why not? It's how we always end live streams here. Fingers crossed the copyright gods do not get us this time. So, fingers crossed. Today's song of choice is Leper Messiah from Master of Puppets, an underrated song. Found a version that's tuned up to studio tuning from its original studio tuning. So, I think all I'm just going to say is, please enjoy the song. If we do get copyrighted to hell and back, you know what happened. So, I will see you on the other. Hold on, Bread fans. We're having some technical difficulties here, so it was lagging. So give me a sec. But yeah, I will see you on the other side.
hypnotized. I am
Well, if you can hear me, hello. Well then, okay. That was a lot. We made it through everything except the last 30 seconds. Well then. We made it just so close to it. We were that close, guys. We were this close. And then they just went, wow. We were so close. Yikes. So we're here. We're back. So in the archives later, yes, we did get killed by Metallica again. So yay! We got killed. It's not a live stream unless we get stopped by Metallica somehow. Funny business. So I guess I'm just going to end it here because it's 11:30 at night. I got to get to bed soon. I got to get ready for Waldameer opening day. It's going to be a fun day, and I'm going to have a lot of fun. I'm going to have a lot of fun this season, despite me not doing as much. So Yeah, so stay tuned for updates, I guess. There'll be videos coming out throughout the summer whenever I have time. So just be on the lookout for that when time convenience is. So my next live stream, I mean, maybe we'll do something once Waldameer closes at the end of, at the beginning of September. Yeah, maybe we'll do something for that. Yeah, maybe we'll do something once Waldameer closes and the off season starts. So we'll try to aim for that, which will be early September. So I'll probably guys see you on the other side of Waldameer season. Since we have by that point we'll have a whole season ahead of us. We'll have breakdown of the Vacoma. We'll talk about a lot of other things. So just stay tuned for the construction update whenever the hell I get that out. Otherwise, I will see you guys at the end of the season. Enjoy the videos throughout the whole summer. I'll be on the community post every now and then for updates. And my Instagram too. So just stay tuned, have fun, and please behave yourself around the park. Please do. Don't be stupid. Make good decisions. The last thing you want is the park to change the policies for the worse. So my name is Jay. I'm signing off for the night. And yeah, see you guys on the other side of Waldameer season. Good night.